Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Channel. You've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear, the Bash Brothers are back, and we are live at the virtual Dover Motor Speedway for 200 miles, 200 laps of AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series action from the Monster Mile. Caleb, last night we saw an interesting race. It was a car race, but it was a very attritional battle in the Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. But tonight, we've got more trucks. We had 28 cars last night. We've eclipsed that number in the Truck Series tonight. But we've got the same amount of laps. What are you looking for tonight, brother?
Well, the truck is, I did a bit of test run here. The truck is actually slightly looser than the Grand National car around here. It has a lot of grip, obviously, with how the body shape is. But it feels a lot looser on the entry and middle of the corner. It's not insanely loose like you get at, some of the short tracks we go to, but it just feels like you're using the right rear a lot more off the corner. So where you only saw that on exit in the Grand National cars last night, you're going to experience that throughout the entirety of the corner, and it actually races fairly nice around here. And another thing we also got to consider here, Murph, just talking about the race in general, is that we've actually here in the AMA have never raced here in the Truck Series.
Yeah, and that's going to play to the advantage of the guys that run the Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. In addition to this race, you've got the Dudas in here. They were not here last night. Jim and Jared Duda are here, and they are third and fourth quick, but they don't have the benefit of 200 laps on this racetrack. Neither does Chuck Sweeting. Sean Roberts wasn't here. Paul Witt wasn't here. And so you've got several front-running drivers that were not in the field last night. And how similar does it feel to the Grand National car, Caleb?
Well, it feels a little bit different. Obviously, that it's a completely different vehicle entirely. Again, we talked about how it gets looser on entry and in the middle of the corner, but it still carries about the same amount of speed throughout both ends of the track. It just has a little bit less horsepower on the straightaway, so it feels like you're getting into the entry a lot deeper than you would in the Grand National car. And I noticed in the Grand National car you were using a lot more braking than you would here in the Truck Series. I think in about the first 10 laps you could probably get away with just lifting, and then as the tires fall off, then you kind of start using the brakes a little bit to get the truck rotated. So it does handle a little bit differently, but the same mindset is still there. It's just a little bit looser in my opinion.
Yeah, and the big thing, too, we talk about Dover, and we saw this last night, calamity. There will be accidents. This track very fast. It's also very narrow, very hard on the tires, and we're going to see trucks come together. We're going to see guys bouncing off the wall at the exit of Turn 4 and the exit of Turn 2. We saw a lot of that last night. Car would get up in the wall, bounce down, collect the car underneath them, and well, chaos would ensue. Here tonight, I would expect that we're going to see more of the same, but we also, we dropped, two-thirds of the field last night before it was over, and so you're going to see this herd thinned. I always viewed Dover, Caleb, as very much a battle of attrition. Just be there at the end, however you can do it.
Yeah, we saw that especially last night. A lot of the strong runners had incidents late in the running and fell back the order quite a ways, and that allowed some new faces to progress up towards the front of the field. And you often saw last night guys multiple laps down were just able to get positions just because they stayed out. And a lot of the other guys, had failures and mechanical failures, whether it be a blown engine or just too much suspension damage in last night's race, where they were actually able to get positions even though they were, double digits laps down.
Yeah, and that's another thing you got to worry about here too. I know it looks like a super speedway, certainly from the perspective of a driver. You got the high bank corners, but it's only a mile, right? This track, the same dimensionally other than the banking as Milwaukee. And so, with that said, lap traffic is always an issue. And if you're a lap car, laps down, multiple laps down, you really need to kind of be cautious of the lap machine, of the leaders as they come by. And it's not just the battle for the lead of the race, Caleb, that we're looking at. It's the battle for the points too. The point standings in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series, they're getting pretty tight too.
Yes, they are indeed. We actually have a tie at the moment with how the drop weeks have worked out. Kendall Paul and Matt Sizzler both tied on 247 points. Right behind them in third is Logan Edwards. He's got 227. And just 2 points behind him is Ryan O'Donohue. So the battle for the top four, they are all very close together in terms of a points battle. In fact, the fact that we got a tie after 8 races between Matt Sizzler and Kendall Paul really just goes to show, how this season has gone. It's been a lot of ebb and flow with how the point standings have been.
It has, and this is kind of where, the drivers start at the top start to separate themselves. It's races like this one. We're in the middle of a long stretch, 6 in a row. This is the halfway point, the Protect and Serve 200 at the Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, next week we'll be at Charlotte for the Stars and Stripes 200. May 29th, it'll be the Backwoods Motorsports 200 at Nashville. And the Archway Industrial Coatings 250 at Michigan will have it on June the 5th. So race 3 of 6 consecutive, and this is it's kind of like the dog days of summer in baseball, Caleb. Where this is where the best kind of separate themselves from the pack, and I would expect Kendall, Sizzler, Edwards, O'Donohue, Hund, Crow, and Osterman to start to flex their muscle a little bit. We are about 2 minutes away from the end of practice, and let's go ahead and bring up the point standings, or not the point standings, the practice times. Caleb, I'll put it to you first. Who you got at the top of the board?
Well, Ryan O'Donohue was quick last night in the race. He didn't put it on pole position, but he was fairly quick in last night's practice session. And honestly, it's always those one-lap runs you can always count on Ryan O'Donohue being at the top of the practice board. However, I am looking. He is not at the top here, Murph, at the moment.
He is not. Chuck Sweeting currently is the fastest truck in Dover, 23.145. He's a couple of hundredths quicker than Ryan O'Donohue. And I'm going to switch this over to speed because I don't know about you, Caleb. I am about tired of looking at hundreds and thousands a second.
Yes. Yes.
The dude
ask any IndyCar guy right now. They are tired of looking at time clocks right now.
We're tired of our average speed calculators in general, hundredths, thousandths, and 10,000ths of a second. If I never saw a fourth decimal place from a telemetry report ever again, I'd be a happy man. The Dudas, Jared and Jim, third and fourth. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is fifth on the board. He got kind of rumpled up last night early. But I'd look for Say Hey Lewis Hayes, have a pretty good run tonight. You've got Kendall Paul, Sean Roberts, Sam Crow, Justin Osterman, and David Dunwoody all up in that top 10. And, we kind of peeked into the Black Magic Studios team earlier, and they were really working hard on this track. Dunwoody kind of, he kind of feels good about his chances tonight out of that 10 hole, so we'll keep an eye on him. Everybody else has streamed back onto the Speedway for a little bit of practice before qualifying. A brief history of Dover. It is 1 mile in length. The oval you see inside the oval is a horse track. It is a separate entity now operated by the Valleys Corporation. And like Kansas, there is a casino on the grounds. That's the building. That's the multi-level building you see off to your right in the camera shot. 2,700 slot machines, 40 tables they got in there, Caleb. I might like to go to Dover and just play some cards. The track here has hosted all sorts of motorsports events. We kind of talked about it last night. The outright track record is held by Greg Ray in a Dallara IR7, the 1998 Pep Boys 400K, 19.622 seconds. The NASCAR Truck Series record, 23.230. That was Brett Moffitt in the 2019 Jegs 200. We are lapping quicker than that here tonight, Caleb, so I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a new track record. How about that?
Yeah, I imagine so. It has been a while since the real life truck series has raced here. I believe 2019 or 2020 was the last year that they came here, and the truck has gone through some upgrades since then. So, and some modifications. So the truck will indeed be faster, both in sim and real life, when they race here this weekend. So should be a interesting to see what happens with all the updates and see if we get any interesting moments with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on board Matt Sizzler as he works his three birdies machine around the course. Sizzler, of course, is tied for that points lead. Big wiggle coming off of turn 2, Caleb.
Yes, he does. Getting a little bit loose here. And one thing we did see last night that the second lap was indeed faster than your first lap. So the first lap is kind of your warm-up lap. Your second one is your push lap. He comes off the back straightaway or onto the back straightaway now, very nice and tidy. Runs the bottom here and gets to the bottom again, about a little bit about half a truck length up. Coming off turn number 2, let's see what the time he is. Gets a little bit loose coming onto the front straightaway here.
Yeah, he had another big wiggle coming off of turn number 4. Matt Sizzler, 23.214, 155.079 miles an hour, and that's good enough for the provisional pole position. Let's see. Let's have a look at a guy who is likewise just about done with rectangles. Logan Edwards comes across the line. He goes 23.623. That's going to put him 15th quick. We can forgive Logan for not having a lot of practice. And how about David Dunwoody? I kind of alluded to him earlier. Thought, he's very quietly optimistic about his chances tonight. Really feels good about that number 28 Chevy Silverado. Blackmagic Studios on the side. He is coming around on lap number 1. And it looks like he's throwing this one away, Caleb. He's going to get after it lap number 2.
Yes, he is indeed. Look how hard he cuts down on the exit of turn number 4. He was up against the wall on the entry of 3, cuts it down hard on the exit of 4. He rides the bottom in 1 and 2, very nice through the middle of the corner. On the exit, gets very nice 1 and 2. This is going to be a quick one if he can nail turns 3 and 4.
It is David Dunwoody coming out of turns 3 and 4. He did not have the same wiggle Matt Sizzler did. Dunwoody across the line, 23.190, and he's going to park that Blackmagic Studios machine third. Here's another rapid guy, Ryan O'Donohue, and we'll see what he can do. O'Donohue, second quick in practice.
Yeah, Ryan O'Donohue does the same thing, kind of gets a little bit wide on turn 3, cuts it down hard in turn 4. Currently last with that first lap, but as we all know, the second lap is the one that really counts. Keeps it nice and tight through turns 1 and 2, very close to that wall on exit. We'll see how he navigates turns 3 and 4. Rides about 1 truck length up. That's different here, Murph. We haven't seen anybody do that in qual yet. Let's see if that actually benefits him. Cuts it down hard on exit, and that's going to put him 4th on the board.
23.168 for Ryan O'Donohue. Good enough for 4th quick. Do we have anybody else? Let's have a look at Matt Wagner. He might need some Crown Royal after Indy qualifying week. Here he is across the line. Lap number 1 in the books, 23.792. That is the slowest of everybody who has taken time, but hey, lap 2 is where it's at. Matt Wagner rolls into turn number 3. He's like O'Donohue. He's about half a truck width off the bottom. He'll turn down across the bottom groove, and here's Wagner across the line, 23.443. That'll put him 17th. Maybe got time for one more. Ted Craven, the teddy bear, is out here. He's got 25 seconds to make it back around, and I think he'll do it handsomely, Caleb. I actually had a run earlier today that was timed out at Indianapolis. I made it. I had a work meeting. I made it out a little bit late. Jumped in the rig, popped the clutch, and went. I crossed the line 2 seconds too late.
Yeah, but I regret to inform everybody watching, neither me or Murph made the top split broadcast. Murph is starting as he ended up getting 40th. I ended up getting 60th. And we both had it's just one of those things. It's very difficult to qualify in the top 33 of the Indy Open. So, but
I mean, just making the top 100 of that is an
impressive.
accomplishment. Yeah, that's an accomplishment. Forget winning the thing, or forget getting in the top 33. And hey, I'm proud of our team's effort. We did it with our own stuff, and you know, I'm proud of the effort, and I'm proud of what we did, and I'm proud of what we accomplished. And hey, if we didn't make the race, we didn't make the race, and we'll give it a shot again next year, man. That's the great thing about Indianapolis. It happens every year. And the great thing about tonight is we're going to have a race here tonight as well. On the pole, Jared Duda snipes Kendall Paul at the death. That's your front row. Chuck Sweeting, Ryan O'Donohue are going to make up row number 2. David Dunwoody, Matt Sizzler are going to go 5th and 6th. Jim Duda, Austin Hunn, 7th and 8th. James Hodgson, Shane Fleming, 9th and 10th. In 11th, how about Randy Dunlap? He'll line up alongside Justin Osterman. Say Hey Lewis Hayes, 13th. Alan Steigerwalt is 14th. Paul Witt will go from 15th. John Hutchins, Matt Wagner, Ted Craven, Jason Phillips, and Michael Kirk will round out your top 20. 21st. Let's go Joseph Greathouse, Raymond White, 22nd. Sean Roberts is going to roll off 23rd. Brian Sharp and Andrew Gates will go 24th and 25th. Shane Pearson is going to start 26th. '27th, Crash Neon. 28th, Logan Edwards. Those guys can be forgiven. They've been rectangling all day. Mike Rigney begins the cars that did not set time. He, along with Sam Crow, did not take time. 29th and 30th, they will roll. Jeremy Dunwoody, Donald Green, and Barry Seaman will round out the field as we get ready for 200 laps of AMA Archway Industrial Coatings trucks action. And we'll get back to Jared Duda. There he is, the number 52. He is the winner of the Sim Shop Pole Award. Sim Shop, just keep driving. Sim Shop Pole Award, Jared Duda. I will say this about Indianapolis. I am glad to be back in the booth.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot out of you. And we're finally at a track that's actually a circle and not a rectangle, Murph. It's amazing.
I don't know what
It's different.
I don't know if I can abide by being at a circle and not a rectangle. I don't know that I would actually be able to navigate this place at this point. But here we are. Pace truck is about ready to pull on off. We'll get up in the flag stand with Barney. The trucks are coming off at turn number 4. You'll hear them throttle up. There's the green flag now, and we are underway. 200 laps at Dover are upon us.
Yeah, Jared Duda gained a decent start there, but Kendall Paul in that outside lane also got a decent start, but he's going to have to yield to Chuck Sweetie on the bottom and possibly David Dunwoody. And we got a caution in the back here, Murph.
Already yellow flags waving. Sean Roberts, number 33, is the reason for the caution. And there you see the 33 truck smoking. He didn't order it that way, Caleb, and let's see what's happened to Sean Roberts here. 3 wide, Brian Sharp, and was that Crash Neon on the bottom? Looks like they got 3 wide, and they all just kind of came together over there. It is Crash Neon. Roberts was the meat in the sandwich. Brian Sharp gets tagged in the door. They spin around. Great job of avoidance by the 39 of Shane Pearson, but that didn't do Brian Sharp or Sean Roberts any good. And then Sam Crow just kind of gets involved a little bit late. I don't think anything too untowed wrong with Sam Crow's car. We'll jump on board with Sam. There he is. You ride shotgun. I don't think Sam Crow hit anything, actually. Did you see, though, Caleb? Sam Crow was waiting. Sam Crow was waiting as I think we've got a little bit of extracurricular activity on pit lane. What's all that about?
Not exactly sure there, Murph.
There's Brian Sharp as he sits in his pit box, and here comes Sean Roberts. Maybe, well, he's trying to get to his pit box, and the motor is toast on that car, so maybe Sean just didn't have enough momentum to make it, but that was odd looking. Meanwhile, we are under the yellow light for the first time here at Dover. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and get in on all of the iRacing fun. Caution flags in the AMA brought to you by Admin Box. Race controller, run hosted sessions. You own a league. You need one of those. That's race control at the touch of a button, adminbox.com. Caleb, we're already, it didn't take too long, but we've already got one casualty. How long do you think we stay green here this time? Or is it going to be, in your estimation, kind of like last night, start stop, and then finally you get some long runs?
I reckon it's probably going to be very similar. You know, it is a bigger field than what we saw last night, just, you know, only by about 4 or 5 trucks. But we'll probably see a lot similar racing in comparison to last night in terms of attrition. First stage will probably be a lot of start-stops, and then once we get to that second stage, you know, the field's kind of thinned out at that point. Then we'll start getting those long green flag runs, and we'll start to see that in the third stage as well. It's just these early parts, especially here at Dover, can be a bit rough with how close these trucks are racing, and just it's very easy to make contact here.
It is. You know, this track gets really narrow, especially in the corners. It seems like you've got room, but it really is very, very narrow as Duda and Sweeting roll off at turn number 4, and we're about ready to get this party started one more time.
Green flag, green flag.
There's the green from Barney, and we are back underway here at Dover. In the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series, it's the Protect and Serve 200, and already everybody 2 by 2 through the field. Now, they're going to want to get single file just about as quick as they can, right, Caleb?
Yeah, and that's what you actually saw from Truck Sweeting. Second, he immediately, the second that bottom lane was open, cut down, right down in front of David Dunley and Kendall Paul. But right behind them, of the top 4, you see Osterman. And a 3 wide moment with James Hodgson there and Matt Sizzler. They went 3 wide through turn 1. They're still side by side with Hodgson there. With Osterman on the inside, we got another caution here, Murph.
Caution is out. It's Logan Edwards and Joseph Greathouse have come to grief. They are slow, and we'll see what we've got with these two. So Logan's on the bottom, the old narc brain. The 39 and the 54 are above him, and Logan gets out of the gas, and I think it surprised him. The truck turns sideways. He gathers it back in. He's got the 48 there with him, and now they're 3 wide. They've got the 54 on top. That's Michael Kirk, and Edwards and Greathouse just kind of come together, and they'll slide down and tag the inside wall. I don't think a lot of damage on Logan, but the front end on the 48 is kind of all stove in there, Caleb.
Yes, it is, and it was just one of those quick situations. You know, they were 3 wide coming off the corner. We talked about how narrow this track is, and on corner exit, it can sometimes, you know, just all come together very quickly.
You know, it most certainly can. One of the things we didn't talk about was the stages and the tire limits. You're going to be looking at a 45 stages at 45 and 90, just like last night. Do they get an extra set of tires though tonight, Caleb? That's my question.
Let's take a look at is 4 sets of tires for tonight. So that means 3 over the pit wall, 1 on the truck right now. So basically the same situation as last night, where you'll probably pit at the end of both stages, take a set at the end of those, and then probably another set in the middle of the third.
Yeah, and so that's the tire schedule, and I would kind of expect the strategy here tonight to play out just like it did last night, where you're going to see the drivers want to run to about lap 150 and pull down the pit lane. You're looking at Jim Duda. He started in the 7th spot. He is currently 5th. Leading is son Jared Duda. He started from the pole. Chuck Sweeting 2nd. He started 3rd. Kendall Paul is 3rd, and he started 2nd. Excuse me 1 second. That's a lot of seconds, and they all mean different things. Suffice to say, the inside line was superior on the initial start. David Dunwoody up 1 from his 5th place starting spot. Jim Duda up 2 to 5th from 7th, and Ryan O'Donohue has fallen back a couple. He started 4th. He's currently 6th. Matt Sisler has lost a spot as well. James Hodgson in the forward-facing 88 is 8th. Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman is 9th. And Alan Steigerwalt rounds out your top 10. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. You're watching the Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series from Dover. It is the Protect and Serve 200. Mark Murphy, Caleb Brashear with you. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so you can get in on all the iRacing fun as we just about have contact in row 2. Chuck Sweeting is getting ready to lead them away, and if Ryan O'Donohue gets any closer to David Dunwoody, he's going to have to buy him dinner, Caleb.
Yeah, he's right in that rear bumper coming to the green flag. Green flag is out now. Jared Duda gets a very nice start over the rest of the field, and they dive into turn number 1.
They do dive into turn number 1. David Dunwoody is hung on that outside. He'll get passed by Kendall Paul for the 3rd spot. Well, Dunwoody battling. O'Donohue and Sisler hooked together going into turn 3. Contact into 3. Sisler will have the spot. O'Donohue is not happy. Ryan O'Donohue not happy. He fires the truck back to the inside of Matt Sisler going into turn number 1.
Yeah, a bit of argy-bargy there. They kind of got hooked together, starting him in turns 1 and 2, and they just kind of followed down the back straightaway. O'Donohue trying to get past Matt Sisler right now on the inside. And one thing we did see last night is that the outside line seemed to be the preferred line when overtaking, but Ryan O'Donohue able to make the inside work here in these early stages, and now is looking on the back of Jim Duda right in front.
Yeah, I think Ryan O'Donohue was seeing some red mist there. I don't think he liked being hooked together with Matt Sisler, and he took exception. He took exception when making that pass. You see him kind of wiggle the door, move Sisler up the track. No harm, no foul. Everybody continues on. O'Donohue runs in the 6th spot, and he is looking at Jim Duda, and that's something, that you might not, if you hadn't run that race last night, you might not realize. Just looking at it on paper, you would think the bottom would be the quick way around, but we saw drivers like Kendall Paul making big moves around the top in the 2nd groove, Caleb.
Yeah, and that's how ultimately, drivers like Riley Lean and Trevor Ryan were able to be out in front so long in last night's race. They were just holding the top whenever somebody wanted to overtake them. They would let them have the bottom and just defend the top because they were able to carry so much momentum, so much speed going into the corner that they would just clear them on the corner exit. But it seems to be the opposite here tonight as you see Ryan O'Donohue go up the inside of Jim Duda on the front straightaway and, again, using that inside line. So it's a little bit different style of how you're going to overtake here in comparison to what we saw in the Grand National Series.
Yeah, we are right on board. Ryan O'Donohue, he's having a look at the back of Kendall Paul. This is the battle for 4th. O'Donohue moves his truck to lane 2. Kendall Paul will hold the bottom. And look at the run Ryan O'Donohue has coming down the back. He'll dive to the inside of Kendall Paul in 3.
Yeah, again, Kendall Paul gaining a little bit high on the entry of 3, but lets Ryan O'Donohue by. Ryan O'Donohue is on a charge ever since his restart. He's up about 4 positions and he is. I wonder if he's seeing the red mist here. You said that earlier, but he is on a charge up towards the front. Let's see if he's able to gain on the leaders.
We'll see. Speaking of the leaders, here they are. Jared Duda leads it. Chuck Sweeting second. David Dunwoody is third. The front three right in a line as they circulate, working at lap 18 of 200. Remember, we're going to have a stage break at 45. Caleb. And I'm wondering if maybe Ryan O'Donoghue kind of learned something from that race last night in terms of tire management, because we've seen him fast in spots and we've seen him fast over short runs, but he tends to give up in terms of tires over the long haul. So let's see if he's learned anything from last night. And these trucks do drive just a little bit different, don't they?
Yes, they do indeed. It's a fairly single file race, but you see Ryan O'Donoghue, he's pushing a lot harder than what we saw, what you kind of wanted to do in the Crayon Nationals series last night. And he's pushing very, very hard. He's gaining on the leaders. I guess it's just a matter of whether or not these tires fall off for Ryan O'Donoghue. And that's going to determine, how long he's able to push this truck to the absolute limit. He's all over the back of David Dunwoody. Dunwoody very nearly tagging the wall there on the exit 4. O'Donoghue looks up the inside through turns number 1 and 2, able to clear him on exit.
Yeah, I think that's David Dunwoody saying, I don't want to be standing on those tracks when the train comes through. Ryan O'Donoghue goes to third. Dunwoody back to fourth. O'Donoghue is consistently much quicker than anybody else around him, but you got to wonder about the longevity of the tires. You were asking about fall off. About halfway through this first stage, they've already lost 0.6 of a second in pace, Caleb.
Yeah, and last night, over the course of, a 50-lap run, we saw upwards of 2 seconds. So they're about 0.6 here. That equals probably around, 1.5 seconds, let's say, by the time the stage 1 caution comes out at the end of the first stage. So we'll see probably a lot of the similar fall off, but Ryan O'Donoghue is not messing around. He is on a full charge to the front at the moment and is really trying to push his tires as far as they can.
He is. Let's get back on board Ryan O'Donoghue. We'll look at it through his eyeballs. We'll get the inputs up and you can take a ride. You're watching Chuck Sweeting as he looks to the inside of Jared Duda for the lead. Can't quite make it happen, and that's going to open the bottom up for Ryan O'Donoghue. Maybe O'Donoghue with a good run, but he can't quite get the nose in there. Notice, if you're at home, just how stable that wheel is for Ryan O'Donoghue. You don't see a lot of switchbacks to the right there. You remember last night we were on board Franco Alvarez, and he was basically dirt tracking his car around Dover. Not so for Ryan O'Donoghue tonight. That wheel is solid. The truck is going exactly where he points it. He's back into gas big, and he's going to have a run right here on Chuck Sweeting into turn 1.
Looks up the inside, able to clear him before they even get to the halfway point of the corner. Ryan O'Donoghue up about 8 or 6 places ever since the restart. He is on a march forward. He's only got one more before he gets to the lead. Meanwhile, behind them, we got an absolutely big battle for the top 5 position. That is David Dunwoody. He's fallen back a little bit. Kendall Paul's gone around him. Jim Duda's on David's inside. Matt Sills right behind them. And side by side, Austin Hunt and Justin Osterman for this 8th place position.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe David Dunwoody was a little rough on the tires, because it's 27 coming to start lap 28, and David Dunwoody has fallen from 3rd back to 5th, and he has got a challenge for 6th. The problem for Jim Duda is he can't quite make it stick. Dunwoody learned last night that if you want to hold somebody off, you can do it on the high line, and he is positioning his Chevrolet square in lane 2. Jim Duda just not able to get around him, and that's going to allow Matt Sizzler to get to the rear of Jim Duda, and now Justin Osterman to the outside of Sizzler.
Osterman able to get that position before they get into turn number 1. Osterman up another position there, and now Matt Sizzler has got the likes of Austin Hahn on his outside. Austin's got the run down the back straightaway. Justin Osterman kind of blocking Matt Sizzler on the bottom there. Austin Hahn making that outside work, kind of like what we saw last night. And now he's got a run on both Osterman and Austin.
Oh, boy. I thought Jim Duda was going to throw the block there. He did not. And now Osterman side by side with Matt Sizzler. Mr. Excitement living up to his name here early. And all this has done is just make David Dunwoody's night, because Dunwoody got some free laps. He was able to get himself settled down, get his tires cooled off, and he's now pulled away from this pack. He's got Austin Hahn behind him, but David Dunwoody relishing the battle that's going on behind him as you see Osterman jump below Matt Sizzler one more time.
Yeah, Osterman trying to make that bottom work. Matt Sizzler's on the outside, though. Doesn't quite clear him as they get into turn number 3. Osterman's still there, but he should have a run down the back straight. Oh, a little bit of contact in front of them. Austin Hahn and David Dunwoody come together coming off turn number 4. Austin Hahn has the position momentarily. David Dunwoody on the high side going through turns 1 and 2.
David Dunwoody will drop back to the 6th spot. Austin Hahn has claimed 5th. But the battle royale goes on between Sizzler, Duda, and Justin Osterman. James Hodgson has the best seat in the house as Osterman gets wicked free coming off of turn number 4. That's going to put James Hodgson underneath him. Meanwhile, Jim Duda goes to work on David Dunwoody.
Yeah, they go up briefly side by side there with Osterman and James Hodgson on the back straightaway, but Osterman able to clear him going into turn number 3. Hodgson looks up the inside of Osterman, gets a little bit tight on entry, but is able to hold that bottom line. Osterman's got the high side run, though, and he might be able to clear him going into turn number 3. He does. Meanwhile, right in front of them, David Dunwoody and Jim Duda are going to go duel it out through turns 3 and 4. Ooh, a bit loose there from David Dunwoody on the inside, but he's able to gather back up. But he's got Matt Sizzler on his outside. Yeah,
now Dunwoody is battling Jim Duda. Osterman and Sizzler contact. They're trying, Caleb. They're trying. I think to make us have a heart attack. Jim Duda was on the bottom of David Dunwoody and got very, very free coming off the corner. He let out of the gas momentarily to gather that truck up, so that gave David Dunwoody some breathing room, and Dunwoody holding on to that 6th spot. I am watching the intervals at the front. They are very much stabilized. Jared Duda has about a second, more or less, over Chuck Sweeting, who's got about 3/10 on Kendall Paul, who's got about 3/4 of a second on Ryan O'Donohue. And then another half a second back to Austin Hahn. This is by far the best battle on the track, and it is a hornet's nest. Dunwoody on the top, Duda on the bottom. Row 2, Sizzler and Hodgson.
Yeah, you see Hodgson trying to make the outside work. He doesn't have a fender on Matt Sizzler, but a little bit loose right in front of Sizzler. That is Jim Duda getting loose off turn number 4. Sizzler going to try to make the outside work, but Jim Duda able to clear him off the corner exit. Let's see if Sizzler has anything going down the backstretch.
Sizzler does die to the inside of Jim Duda, but he can't hold the bottom. He comes up, they touch doors. Jim Duda has the top. Matt Sizzler the bottom. James Hodgson has now gotten around Justin Osterman, and Hodgson's going to stick his nose into this fight for 7th.
This is getting very, very dicey. It seems like these guys have been basically going at it ever since lap 20 of the race, and they have not stopped. These guys have been dueling it out. Meanwhile, I guarantee you, David Dunwoody, the same situation as he was before, is just trying to cool his tires off. Oh, James Hodgson thought about making it 3 wide there. He got loose off the corner, thinks better of it, but Jim Duda and Matt Sizzler still going side by side. It's been about 3 or 4 laps here.
You are watching through the eyes of the forward-facing 88 James Hodgson, and now Hodgson has gained the top, but he can't quite get the nose on Sizzler, and Sizzler clouts the wall in front of him. So Jim Duda is now clear. Hodgson is in 9th, Sizzler 8th, Duda 7th, David Dunwoody in 6th. Those are the trucks we're watching. It's a pretty good seat. I might just sit here for a while, Caleb.
This is incredible racing for basically a position just outside the top 5 here. David Dunwoody in the 6th and Jim Duda. It's kind of gotten single file at the moment, but there's only 4 laps left in the stage. We're on lap 42. Stage caution will come out on lap 45. So these guys have been duking it out for over half the stage at this point, and they're not done. Jim Duda is right in the rear bumper of David Dunwoody.
Yes, he is, and Jim Duda trying to get back, to get around Dunwoody. Now, remember, that's easier said than done. Duda tried that for, Jim Duda tried that for about 10 laps earlier, wasn't able to get it done, and Dunwoody, if he's able to hold on here after he started rapidly falling back with the worn tires, this would be a huge victory for him. Duda on the bottom, Dunwoody on the top, 2 laps to go in the stage.
Jim Duda trying to make the inside work, but it seems like at the moment, as the tires wear in, the outside line just clears them off corner exit, but they're still side by side, as well as the 2 behind them, Matt Sizzler and James Hodgson. Those guys are still side by side. Sizzler able to get position going to turn 3. Duda and Dunwoody still side by side. Sizzler and Hodgson getting a little bit loose, as well as the rest of the field.
Whoa,
behind
there was contact.
David Dunwoody, big slide going up to turn 1 wall, hits it. Jim Duda is able to get that position, as well as Matt Sizzler, and James Hodgson has the inside on him going to turn number 3.
Now, that might be the lightest touch you'll ever see of a wall at Dover. Dunwoody just kisses it. He's going to come across. He'll finish the stage.
All right, man. Caution is out.
In the 8th spot. Your stage winner is this man, Jared Duda. So, Track Racer stage number 1 is taken by Jared Duda. Remember, if you go to the web address that I'm going to put in the chat, type it in just like that, copy and paste, you get 5% of your order does go into the AMA prize pool. That's trackracer.com, and then you put the promo code in after it. 5% of your order goes into the AMA prize pool. Jared Duda, the winner of stage number 1, and well, Freebird, I think we're going to see everybody hit the pit lane here for 4 fresh tires. What do you say?
I'd be very surprised if they didn't. You know, the fall off of the laps over the course of the stint is so massive that you almost be crazy to not take tires under a stage caution.
Yeah, it is. They dropped off. They had dropped off nearly 2 seconds, so it was just like last night from their ultimate pace. Jared Duda going to lead him down again. This odd kind of pit road you see here. Let's hop on board Joseph Greathouse, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can see the track visibly above the pit lane. You actually drive down. It's kind of like the old pit road at Silverstone in England, where they would kind of drive down, and now they drive down and under a tunnel. But it is unique amongst pit lanes, as you see Jared Duda getting service on that number 52. Trucks at the back have already started to leave their pit boxes. Of course, they were able to get service much more quickly. Front of the field, though, files away Jim Duda, Jared Duda, Kendall Paul, Chuck Sweeting, Austin Hund, and Ryan O'Donohue are the top 5 off of the pit lane, Caleb.
Yes, they are indeed. I do want to point out Matt Wagner has disconnected from the session. It appears to possibly be something on his end, as he manually disconnected from it. I don't think he has any damage. It doesn't look like it. So Matt Wagner is currently out of the session.
I bet I know where he's going. He might want to race at Indianapolis, and so
I see.
We've got we've got time slot number 1 of the iRacing.com Indianapolis 500 Open setup race tonight, and that is on P1 Broadcasting. Those of you watching this race will automatically go to the broadcast for the Indianapolis 500 once this is over. That stream, of course, is being simulcast by iRacing.com and across all of their social media platforms, and so you'll get to tune that one. And they had something like 8,000 people watch that last week, Caleb. That's incredible.
I mean, it's the biggest race of the year. You know, that it's the biggest single driver event that iRacing puts on, and just probably the biggest special event. The only other one that rivals it is really the Daytona 24, in my opinion. And it's just, you know, it's considered one of the best races in real life, and it's translates over to sim as well. It's the biggest event on sim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the final tally for qualifying attempts is going to be, but certainly it's in the tens of thousands as we get ready to go back to green. And of course, the version in the simulator always happens a week before the real life race, and that's going to happen in 8 days, 15 hours, and 52 minutes as Jared Duda streaks away. Kendall Paul is third behind Chuck Sweeting, Austin Hunt fourth, O'Donohue fifth. Matt Sisler and James Hodgson, well, they'll just resume their battle. They'll just simply resume their battle. It is worth noting, David Dunwoody made a pit stop so that he could line up at the very back of the field. I think he might just be trying to avoid trouble here, Caleb.
Yeah, it's getting a bit dicey around him. It could be a strategy call just to try to avoid all the incidents out in front of him. But I do want to point out Ryan O'Donohue.
Caution.
Yellow flag.
Donald Green. Yeah, it's Donald Green. There's Donald. You got the 54. Michael Kirk also involved. Here we go. They're running along. Is that is the 16 of Jared Duda, or Jim Duda rather. Donald Green makes contact with the 05 of Raymond White. Around he goes, and you see Michael Kirk, kind of a secondary impact. Kirk hard into the outside wall. He's going to back it down, does not contact the inside. You see Jeremy Dunwoody weaving through, but caution on the speedway, and there's Donald Green. I don't think anybody got the meatball out of that action, though, Caleb.
Taking a look, Michael Kirk did take a hard hit, but no meatball action for him. He is on pit lane right now, so he is getting that damage repair, but no meatball for Michael Kirk. I believe he was the hardest hit. He hit the outside wall in the backstretch, so
he's already on pit lane, yeah.
Yeah, he's already on pit lane getting that damage repaired, so just doesn't seem to be that big of an incident, but it still brought out the caution, just a little bit of contact between Don Green and Raymond White.
Yes, he is, and look, Donald Green has hit the pit lane. Michael Kirk is on pit lane. Say Lewis Hayes is elected to stop here. It could have been he's pancaked the wall at some point. Joseph Greathouse was involved in an earlier incident. He's back down to pit lane. He's 3 laps down. Brian Sharp, 7 laps down, has come back out onto the track. And, of course, Matt Wagner and Sean Roberts out of this race. We are 53 of 200 under the admin box caution flag. Do want to thank all of our viewers. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can get in all the iRacing fun. David Dunwoody says he got the black flag. That's why he went to the back. It was not intentional. I give the boss man more credit than that, Caleb. I would have thought he did that on purpose to avoid the accidents.
Yeah, just some we casually missed, but that kind of is a better reason than going to the back of the field. But Yeah, just unfortunate on David Dunway's part. We know he is strong here. We know he can get back up towards the front. We've seen him do a lot of these back. He starts at the back of the field, makes his way up towards the front. We've seen him do it time and time again, both in the Grand National Series and in the Truck Series. And it's just going to have to be another one of those races for him.
Yes, it is. But we know David Dunwoody's got a fast truck, and so he may yet be able to make something out of this. We're going to get the green flag coming to get lap 55 of 200, and we'll get you back to green flag action momentarily as the pace truck gets ready to turn on off, and Jared Duda will resume the lead, and that's pretty much where he's been the entire run. 53 of 54 laps led for Jared Duda. He'll lead one more when they get back to the line in NASCAR. The leader, or the driver on the inside, they get to restart first. That always means they lead the first lap, and I'd look for Chuck Sweeting to fall in line as soon as possible here, Caleb.
Green.
Green flag flies. Chuck Sweetie. Man, contact where you got contact in the front stretch.
All right, man.
We got a big mess.
Caution
Is out. The entire field is junked. It is a wrecking yard down in turn number 1. I thought Sam Crow was going to make it through, and he even got contact. Donald Green sneaks through. The field has stopped. My goodness gracious, Caleb. And we're definitely going to need the P1 airship for this one, because Chuck Sweeting, I think, spun the tires down here, and Jared Duda gets away. And from here, it's on. There's Sweeting. He gets clouded by Austin Hund. O'Donohue gets light contact and gets through. And this is going to be one of those where pretty much the entire field is involved. Jeremy Dunwoody, the number 1 of Ted Craven, they don't get any damage. I don't see Say Hey Lewis Hayes hit anything. Sam Crow, watch this. He starts going down. Sam doesn't hit anything. But if that ain't a mess, it'll do till the mess gets here. And what does that look like from the driver's perspective? Let's just jump on board with the old narc brain, Logan Edwards here, and let you guys be the judge. Alan Steigerwalt and James Hodgson both have the meatball out of that they're going to need to respect. But here comes the start, and watch. Chuck Sweeting's his rear tires are going to spin up. He's going to hit the outside wall, and watch the track just get blocked. There's the impact, and Logan Edwards, he gets hard. He jams on the brakes, and he gets hit by a spinning Justin Osterman, and hard in the wall for Logan. But there's no escaping that. You look out the right side door, trucks are still piling in there, and finally it stops. But you look out the driver's side for Logan. There's the 0-5, and Logan actually drives away in reverse. Thankfully, nobody hit him. That's Crash Neon. Let's have a look from David Dunwoody's perspective. This ought to be fun. We'll get up on the roof cam for David Dunwoody. There he is. He goes, and watch this, Caleb. The track is just going to be blocked here.
I'm still kind of trying to process everything that happened here. That was the entire field there, Murph. That was everybody besides Jared Duda.
Everybody besides Jared Duda. I don't think Ryan O'Donohue got a little bit, but I don't think he got a lot. And I don't think Sam Crow or Mike Rigney hit anything either. Let's have a look at Mike Rigney. No, Rigney got involved. There you see the ISRA truck. He's getting beaten around quite a bit, but he didn't take any hits on the front, at least, of that Silverado. Justin Osterman driving away in reverse. Why not, right? But that's just a wild bit of action. Everybody from Barry Seaman in 9th on back came to the pit lane. Oddly enough, Austin Hund chose to not do so, and he hit pretty hard there.
It could be a gamble on his part just to have track position and not get buried in avoiding, the accidents in front and the slow trucks in front if there is any. Pace truck is in.
Green, green, green.
And we are green flag back here at Dover.
We are under green at Dover. Away we motor. It's Jared Duder, rather, but the battle is for second. Kendall Paul, Ryan O'Donohue, Austin Hunt, Britty 14, who is Ryan O'Donohue's girlfriend, has chimed in the chat. She says he didn't even get a 0x, Caleb, so O'Donohue must be good to go. Caution is on the speedway. Jared Phillips has gone around, and there's the 20. And he's got some major damage on the 20, and there was some additional stuff that happened as part of this. So here we go. Oh, he just jumps to the middle and turns Michael Kirk sideways. Jeremy Dunwoody nowhere to go, and then the remainder of the accident Caleb was on. So caution on the speedway. Again, nobody with the meatball. 60 of 200 complete here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Mark Murphy, Caleb Brashear with you. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can get in on all of the iRacing fun, just because I know Caleb Brashear is interested. We need to check out, see what's going on the sister stream, and that one's being beamed out across all of the iRacing social media platforms.
The Mediterranean.
They are just now getting ready to start. The pace car is on the track. They're starting to grid, Caleb. So you haven't missed anything at Indianapolis. There you go.
They're gonna go with the 10 seconds ago. Everybody's gonna grid up. They want that maximum fuel load, Murph. They want that maximum fuel load.
Alexander Russell, Robert Malechka, Jason Brophy, Jacob Oster, Hamilton Akabuezi, Adam Blocker, your top 6. As they line them up over in Indianapolis. Jeff Drake, Alexis Newsom, Chris Neese, Thomas Simone, Jared Munoz, Daniel Ferguson. There are a lot of names that are up in that top group that even you and I, who run that car constantly, are not really all that familiar. Brendan Hyperstar start next to Ty Keela in row 7. But there are a lot of names up there that you don't see very often, aren't there?
No, and this is, usually a lot of the, higher end drivers that only race, kind of the pro side. You see that with Michele. He actually got pole time for tomorrow, choosing not to race tonight. But he, drivers like that have been doing the IndyCar forever, you really only show up to this one race every single year, the Open Indy 500, and they show why they've been doing it so long and why they've been successful at it. Because, well, Michele, as rare as he races anymore, just put on top of the board of everybody.
Yes, indeed. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. Again, if you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. We're about ready to get back to green flag action. Jared Duda, Kendall Paul going to try to restart this baby. Ryan O'Donohue. And how about Shane Pearson starting 4th, Ted Craven, the Teddy Bear 5th. And look at old Sam Crow. He's up in 6th. You've got Jim Duda and Say Hey Lewis Hayes 7th and 8th. Barry Seaman and Shane Fleming round out your top 10. That big mess has definitely jumbled the field, Caleb.
Yes, it has indeed. There is a bit of shuffling in the back there. We saw a bit of wheel spin. That was Raymond White.
Right,
and we got the 55 around on the back straightaway, and more contact here, Murph.
Yeah, Matt Sizzler gets involved. There's Barry Seaman as he is nosed into the inside retaining wall. And you will sometimes see this when you've got and Matt Sisler has the meatball, by the way. You'll sometimes see this when you get the field jumbled in a big wreck like that, and you got some guys that have damage, you got some guys up front that aren't used to being up there. Seaman just spins it, and now there's the contact in the back. David Dunwoody comes together. Uh, Justin Osterman got in the back of Matt Sisler, and that's going to be big. Sisler tied for the points lead. His night is likely to be over. He's going to get clouded by Justin Osterman right there. And I'm trying to see who got into the side of David Dunwoody, because he spins down. That's Michael Kirk that gets into David Dunwoody. So caution on the speedway one more time as Sisler's going to head to the pit lane with his meatball. Jared Duda continues to lead at 65 of 200 complete. Alex Russell has bolted into the lead at Indianapolis from Jacob Oster and Jason Brophy and Hamilton Akabuezi. Adam Blocker is fifth. So the wall of power slide is in effect at Indianapolis.
Indeed, here, and we're back into the truck series here. A lot of drivers still getting that damage repaired from the incident earlier back on lap 50 on the initial start. Logan Edwards still getting that damage repaired. James Hodgson still getting that damage repaired. Matt Sisler has added that damage with the last incident. And this is a race of attrition. We knew that coming in based off how last night went and basically how Dover is as a track. It is an attrition race. And the most important thing is you got to get to the end of the race here, Murph, and you'll probably at least finish top 15, if not even better.
We saw that last night, Caleb, where we had cars that were, dozens of laps down, simply circulating at the end into top 15 finishes. Which you're in a points deal. You've got to do that. I would fully expect to see Matt Sisler sit on pit lane. That truck did not appear to have a blown engine. There wasn't smoke pouring out of it. I would fully expect to see that 93 3 birdies machine sit on pit road as long as it takes. He says he's not happy with the 53, and I can't say that I blame him on that one. And while he's saying now the race is over, so he is done. He says he's not happy with the 53, and I can understand why. He saw the spinner, he let off the gas, and immediately got punted. And that's not what you should see. But it's also sometimes, Caleb, very hard to avoid.
Yeah, it's a massive stack up. Wrecks like that are always hard to avoid. These trucks, they don't have the greatest, braking force on them, the greatest braking power. And it's hard to get these things slowed down if, there's a massive pileup right in front of you.
It most certainly is. Jim Duda will wind his truck up one more time, and he'll streak out to the lead. Kendall Paul did not get a good restart. Kendall Paul is going to be passed by Ryan O'Donohue for the second spot. O'Donohue is going to try to slide in third. And look at Ted Craven pull into fourth, but well, I thought Kendall Paul was going to slide back in. He's going to claim that high side, try to drive around O'Donohue, and he does it.
Kendall Paul using the outside to his advantage. Now, one thing to keep in mind, these tires are still kind of fresh here, Murph. We're already, about halfway through the stage here. These tires are still kind of fresh due to all the caution laps we've had, but Kendall Paul trying to make the outside work. Ryan O'Donohue on the inside, gets a little bit loose off corner exit. These guys are still duking it out. Ryan O'Donohue clears him on the bottom.
O'Donohue does clear Kendall Paul, and now Ted Craven will go to work on the back of that number 78 machine. Meanwhile, here's a fight for you. Sam Crow started out back, and he is currently 7th. Big contact. That's John Hutchins in the wall. Hutchins bounces off of Crow. Crow keeps it straight.
Bargy there, a little bit of contact with the wall. He's still on the wall, in fact. And Oh, John Hutchins still on the wall. Tried to get out of it. That caused the car to check up there. I wasn't able to catch who it was,
All right, man.
but
Caution is out.
yellow flag
Caution
is now out. And we got to pile up in turn number 3.
Ryan O'Donohue, Sam Crow, Shane Pearson, among others, Ted Craven. So more trouble for the front runners here, Caleb. O'Donohue had been working under Jared Duda. And there's, well, you couldn't fit a sheet of paper between those two. Duda's going to go up. There's the tap of the wall. And the fight for the lead turns into a junkyard. Duda's going to get through. And there comes the rest of the field. And O'Donohue was in good shape. He might have had it saved. And Sam Crow just couldn't avoid him. And so Sam Crow into the back of Ryan O'Donohue. There was further contact up the road, though. We need to look at Shane Pearson and Ted Craven. Pearson never gets out of the gas. He spins Ted Craven. Craven looked okay, and then he's going to back it up into the fence. We'll see that in just a second. Hard lick for the rear of that Chevrolet. Watch this hit, Caleb. This is one of those that break your back if it was real life. Craven, he's trying to stand in the brakes, but he keeps getting hit, and bam! You see the 90. That is Shane Fleming pile in there. Big accident. Caution on the Speedway at 72 of 200, and that has claimed several. Mike Rigney has ejected from the server. Sam Crow, Ryan O'Donohue on pit lane with the meatball. Matt Sisler, James Hodgson already there, but now we're starting to see the attrition. Alan Steigerwalt, Chuck Sweeting, Matt Wagner, Sean Roberts already out of this one. At lap 72 of 200, interesting point here, Caleb. Robert Malechka has decided to go to the back and is currently 33rd in that race.
Plus, we got some damage that we didn't see there, Murph.
It's possible. It is possible. It's always interesting to watch this race in addition to the one that's on tomorrow, because this one, yeah, you're going to see a lot of the drivers in Indianapolis tonight that are unfamiliar, but you're going to see a lot of familiar names that maybe were in the top 50 in qualifying that didn't make the big show tomorrow. You get to see them run tonight against about half of the field that'll be there tomorrow. The Europeans typically don't show up for this one, just because it's 3 in the morning over there, but 3 or 4 in the morning over there. They don't typically show up for those. So this is very much like what you'd see in a regular top split broadcast, right? And it's awesome to see. Meanwhile, here at Dover, 73 of 200. I'm going to give a shout out to a guy that he didn't get to run up front very much. Donald Green is 5th. Donald Green is 5th. How about that?
It's a race of attrition here, Murph, and that's what we're seeing right there. Donald Green up, quick math there, nearly 30 spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the graphic up here just so the fans can see it. 27. He started 32nd. Donald Green is now 5th. Now he's definitely going to have some pace opportunities as compared to the trucks around him. You see David Dunwoody coming. Dunwoody has been in the top 3 in this race, and he'll streak to the inside of Donald Green going through turn number 3, so move David Dunwoody back to 6th. We've got a battle up front. Say hey, Lewis Hayes underneath Austin Hund. Lewis Hayes looking to go to the top 3, and that's as racy as we've seen that 43 in any AMA event thus far.
Yeah, he's had a bit of unfortunate luck over the course of the season, but now he is on a charge up towards the front. He's got the outside line. Gets a little bit of contact there. That was with, I believe that was with Crash Neon there. Going side by side, a little bit of contact through the side of the corner. No, that was not Crash Neon. That was David Dunwee, actually. My apologies. But Lewis Hayes, he's had a bit of unfortunate luck over the course of the season. He's been in a couple of incidents over these races, but he is sitting just outside the top 5, trying to get inside the top 5 around Shane Fleming there.
Yeah, and Shane Fleming had been running the extreme outside of the Speedway in that Loves machine. He's got, say, hey, Lewis Hayes behind him in 6th, and Lewis would love a great run here as you see David Dunwoody flash to the inside of Crash Neon. Move David Dunwoody into the 3rd spot. Austin Hunt 2nd. Kendall Paul is your leader. We are down, Caleb, to, by my count, 24 trucks running and on the Speedway. From the 31 that started, and so kind of put that in the back of your mind. 78 of 200, we've lost about a third of the field. Watching Shane Fleming chase down Crash Neon, but we need to flip up to the battle for the lead because Austin Hund is there on Kendall Paul, and the man on a move is the 28 of David Dunwoody. He is flying. He is flying, Caleb, as he looks to the inside of Austin Hund.
Yeah, both these guys showed very good pace in stage number 1 here. They were flying through the field. Austin Hund was actually gaining on the leaders, got around Ryan O'Donohue towards the end of stage number 1. Now he looks on Kendall Paul for the lead here, is trying to get a fender along the inside of him. Doesn't have quite the run to go into turn number 3, but Kendall Paul holding that 2nd lane, trying to carry as much momentum on the high side as he can. They go side by side off turn number 4. It's going to go 3 wide here.
Oh boy, Austin Hund, the monkey in the middle, and he lifts out of that. David Dunwoody will go to the 2nd spot, and now it's Dunwoody who will try to bring the challenge to Kendall Paul, but Austin Hund isn't done. He brings his 1540 Raceway machine back to the outside.
Austin Hund, he was on a charge on the end of stage number 1. David Dunwoody held very well, defending the rest of the field. David Dunwoody now finding himself a little bit racy and finds himself in the 2nd place position. Meanwhile, right behind him, Shane Fleming and say hey Lewis Hayes going side by side off the corner exit at turn number 2. Shane Fleming still able to hold that top 5 spot.
Kendall Paul now starts to draw away. He's up by 5 car lengths. The battle is going to be for 2nd. David Dunwoody is taking it away, but Austin Hunt rolls it hard in on the bottom. Caleb, he's looking to grab that spot back.
Yes, he is indeed. He was on a charge. He seems to be the best on tires so far. We saw at the end of stage number 1, as we've been saying, and we've had a lot of caution laps, so these guys are able to push the tires a little bit harder. They have just about 7 laps to go here before the stage caution comes out, so they could push quite a bit harder than they could in stage number 1 due to all the caution laps.
They most certainly can, as anybody who's followed the AMA knows. Stage 3 is always, we're going to flop back to the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's Crash Neon, Shane Fleming, say hey Lewis Hayes. Stage 2 is always the shortest anyway because you've got some caution laps. Pit stops have started in Indianapolis. The Hyperstar has brought the i5G machine into pit lane. He's going to see if he can't short pit this a little bit. So they're working the first pit cycle. But look, the stage 2 is always the shortest anyway, Caleb. Just because the first 3 or 4 laps are always under caution. You throw another yellow or 2 in there, and it really shortens the thing up, and it makes it a sprint.
Yes, it does indeed. And even though is the shortest stage, you still have to think about tires, and that's one thing Austin Hunt has done very well. He's actually managed to get around David Dunwoody for his 2nd place spot. Right behind him as we look onwards, that is say hey Lewis Hayes and Justin Osman, Mr. Excitement, but on the inside of Lewis Hayes, able to get that position going through turns number 1 and 2. Osterman looks on the outside, able to get around Shane Fleming there. Justin Osterman up 2 places there on that lap. He slots himself into the 5th place position. He had a good run in the Grand National race last night as well. And now he looks on the back of Crash Neon and David Dunwoody for a top 3 position at the moment.
Yeah, Crash Neon's going to go through David Dunwoody, and Dunwoody's going to have Mr. Excitement right behind him as they head it through turns 3 and 4 down the front straight. And Osterman thought about throwing it 3 wide. He wisely backed out of that maneuver. Justin Osterman goes back to the 5th spot behind David Dunwoody, and Dunwoody's looking for 3rd. He wants 3rd back from Crash Neon, and that's stage points. That's stage points here. Dunwoody would love to have some of those. Osterman's going to get through. He'll go to 4th. Dunwoody to 5th. 2 laps to go in the stage.
Yeah, Osterman is on a charge, kind of like what we're seeing from Austin Hunt at the moment. He's still hounding Kendall Paul for the 1st place position, but Osterman further back, trying to look around the outside of Crash Neon. He's got the momentum. Sticks it on the outside. What a move from Mr. Excitement. Gets around Crash Neon. He made that look easy, Murph.
Yes, he did.
Right, man.
And
Caution
there's
is out.
the stage
Caution is
break.
out.
Kendall Paul will be the leader as the admin box caution flag flies. Stage break number 2 brought to you by Black Magic Studios. They are a small operation dedicated to high-quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high-quality paint. When you see me driving the Indy Alliance Racing number 69 Dallara, it is wrapped by Black Magic Designs. I did get my gold hubcaps finally, Caleb.
We could finally be the true and proper bash bearers there, Murph.
I got my gold.
We got the gold on the cars now.
We got the gold on cars. You remember the? Did you ever see the animated Robin Hood movie, Caleb?
I did not.
You did not. The old Disney. You should go watch it sometime. It's good. It's a good one. But there's a scene in there where where Prince John comes riding by, and Little John goes up and flicks the wheels on the carriage, and he says, "Ooh, he's even got gold hubcaps." And then, of course, Robin Hood and Little John steal all the gold in the Prince's carriage. It's kind of funny. Anyway, Kendall Paul will lead the entire field down the pit lane. I can't believe you've never seen that. That's a classic.
I was wondering how you were going to tie this all together when you brought that up, but it makes sense now.
Gold hubcaps. I still can't believe you haven't seen that. We need to get Caleb Brashear to watch the original Disney animated Robin Hood movie. I think that would be a good.
I'm sorry I was born after the turn of the millennium there, Murph, and I don't get a lot of the references you say.
But it's a Disney movie. Come on, man. We've got Kendall Paul on the pit lane along with the rest of the field, and of course I clicked the wrong button and lost the pit exit cam. There it is. You know, man, there's a lot of those good ones. The Sword and the Stone, that's another good one. Paul Witt and Justin Osterman are going to be the top 2 here, Caleb, and they either took 2 tires or no tires here.
I believe they took 2 tires under their pit stop. They were in the pit box still over 4 seconds, but let me take a look back. I believe Osterman did not take tires there.
He may not have, and remember, he's been involved in some contact. It's possible that he doesn't have a set to take. Either or he's only got 1 set left, and he wants to save it for the final pit stop. And he's kind of gambling. Look, you might have a few caution flags here and delay his descent through the field. Paul Witt's in that same boat. On the outside in the number 29 admin box machine, and then you've got Kendall Paul, Austin Hunn behind him. This is about to get really interesting. You've got trucks, 2 tires, no tires in the front, and yeah, this could get fun.
It could
All right,
indeed.
man.
We got a spinner on the
Back on
backstretch.
the pace car. We're not going green this time.
Jared
We're not
Duda
going
has
green.
gone around with John Hutchins. This has delayed the yellow. Jared Duda has towed. What in tarnation? There's Duda. He's been on the pit lane. He's trying to catch the field. And John Hutchins just spins out on the bottom. Hard into the wall for John Hutchins. Contact for Duda. And that's going to be the end of the night for the pole sitter, Caleb.
Yeah, that's a weird incident under caution there, Murph. That's just a very unfortunate circumstance and a lot of miscommunication there.
I don't. It's hard to say. I mean, it could have been he just got in the gas a little bit too hard. There is a weird transition over there on the bottom, and it's possible that Jim Duda or Jared, or not Duda, rather John Hutchins just kind of gassed it up. There's a little dip in the pavement. If you're on the bottom, you just gassed it up in the wrong spot, and around it went.
Yeah, just an unfortunate circumstance. Now, delay green there. Well, now we can finally see how the strategy of Osterman and Witt goes around here, taking no tires on the stop.
We can. And look,
Green flag.
the more yellow there is, as Osterman will streak away. But the more yellow there is, the better it is for Osterman and Witt. Now, Witt gets kicked up to the high side, and that's not where you want to be because everybody is going to stream past him on the bottom. Justin Osterman, though, he got away, got out in clean air, and that's kind of where he needs to be, but he is going to be getting chased down by Kendall Paul here pretty rapidly, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. The other Paul Witt is just falling down the order. Just got passed by Raymond White. Now he's got David Dunleavy's on his inside. So one half of the strategy looks very nice. Osterman's still able to maintain that lead despite not taking tires. Paul Witt just falling down the order right now, and it's complete. Oh,
Whoa!
the inside wall.
Big wreck. Donald Green in the inside wall. He kept it straight. Maybe. Oh, now there's contact with Michael Kirk. Still no yellow.
All right, man.
There it is.
Caution is out.
So here we go. We've got Donald Green. He's going into turn number 3. That is the 90 of Shane Fleming in front of him. He gets to the bottom of Fleming. And around she goes, coming off the corner. He's going to hit the inside wall. And Donald Green does a really good job right here of keeping the truck straight. He keeps everything moving in the right direction. And now he doesn't realize it, but the left front is completely broken. He barely misses Jeremy Dunwoody. And Michael Kirk, not for the first time, just plows in the back of him and then doesn't get off of him, Caleb.
Yeah. Truck was broken there, and he had absolutely zero turning there, but unfortunately, Michael Kirk gets collected in that incident as a result.
Yeah, Donald Green has already ejected from the session. Michael Kirk is on the pit lane, and so we've lost 2 more here under the admin box caution at the Protect and Serve 200 for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Justin Osterman on no tires has maintained the lead, and this is exactly what he wants. Right? In order for this to work, he needs to get the lead. He needs to keep the lead. He needs about 3 or 4 laps and then a yellow. And he needs this to keep happening until about lap 150. Because if he can do that...
If he can do that, then he's golden here, Murph.
Yeah, he is, and it's a gamble, but it may be worth it. The other thing is, you're out front. If you're out front, you don't, you don't necessarily, you're not necessarily going to be involved in a lot of these things. And we've got a ton of trucks out of this race. Everybody from 17th on back has some sort of damage. We started 31. There are 5 trucks back there that are still circulating. So, there are 22. Well, there's 33 starters. Let's see, 17. There are 22 circulating. So we've lost a third of the field. Donald Green chimes in and says, "Yep, no steering after he hit the wall. He is done." Fortunate for Donald Green because he was giving it a pretty good ride. David Dunwoody says there's a wreck in turn 3. We're under yellow, bub. There's no wreck in turn 3 under yellow. I shouldn't say that, should I, Caleb? Anyway, we're getting ready to go back to green here. We have just passed halfway in the Protect and Serve 200 for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. And let's see if we can't get some green flag running going here, Caleb.
Yeah, we had a lot of green flag running in stage number 1. Stage 2 had a lot of attrition, and so far at the beginning of stage number 3, even with the field thinned out, it has been fairly attritioned so far. Pace truck is in. Green flag is back out. Justin Osterman able to get a good jump over the rest of the field.
Yes, he does, and Austin Hund has gone through in a second from Kendall Paul. Now, we saw this earlier. Kendall Paul hanging tough on the top. He's going to try to drive right back around the outside of that number 15. He'll do so, and now Crash Neon is thinking about following suit on Austin Hund for that 3rd spot, but he can't quite get there. It's Austin Hund 3rd, Crash Neon 4th. Kendall Paul has going through. But this is the best battle on the track right now. It is for 3rd. It's Hund and Neon, and Crash Neon moves to the inside on Austin Hund. He's going to clear him, and that might bring David Dunwoody through.
Yeah, Austin Hund dropping a little bit back further in the field at the moment, and we saw him do this at the end throughout stage number 1. He kind of saved his tires, and you saw how fast he was at the end there, able to get around Ryan O'Donohue and hunt the leaders at the end of stage number 1. He's probably thinking the same thing here. He's still got just under 100 laps to go in this race, so he needs to make these tires last even longer than what he did in stage number 1, and I guarantee you he is thinking that, and I guarantee you in about 15 to 20 laps time he will be back out in the front of the pack.
Yes, he will, and Austin Hund trying to continue to move forward. Kendall Paul is now all over the back of Justin Osterman. There's Kendall Paul. He's got Osterman in front of him, and those tires are going to start showing up on Osterman. They're going to show up in a hurry. Kendall looks to the bottom. Not quite enough room, but you would think it's just a matter of time, Caleb. Osterman, big wiggle off of turn 4 into the inside goes Kendall Paul.
There it is. Justin Osterman, he led a lot more than I thought it was. I thought the tires would be a little bit more dead than what they seem to be, but he is holding his own, able to lead a handful of laps here at the beginning of stage number 3. He has crashed onto his inside, and he's still able to defend quite nicely against Crash Neon, but he's going to have to yield having the older tires there.
He is. Where that really hurts him is corner entry to middle. He's able to get off the corner okay. Just as I say that, he nearly spins the truck out. Austin Hund is going to get to the outside, and David Dunwoody is coming after that. But when you talk about Justin Osterman here, he was what, 5th or 6th before he tried that gambit, and maybe he's thinking, look, I didn't have a set of tires to do okay. But one thing we didn't see last night, Caleb, we didn't see anybody attempt to save a set of tires.
No, it was a fairly forward, strategy race, and everybody just took his set of tires at the end of stage number 2 in last night's Grand National race. Now, of course, you also got to keep in mind Stage 2 went caution-free the entire way, so those tires were pretty worn, whereas in Stage number 2, we've had a fairly good amount of caution here as Crash Neon gets around Kendall Paul for the lead here, but it is a bit of a strategy call. You know, you run so much under caution in stage number 2. Why not try to make it a little bit of a strategy change and have the freshest tires when and able to have 2 sets still over the wall?
Well, think about what we saw last night, Caleb, as we watched the battle for the lead, where we had several cautions late, and had somebody had a set of tires to put on, they would have had a massive advantage over the field. And maybe that's what Justin Osterman is thinking. Like, look, I'll take the hit now because the odds are there's going to be a caution later, and I can come strap those new tires on and be in really good shape. His problem right now, though, is that, he's about 0.3 slower than this lead group of Crash Neon, Kendall Paul, Austin Hund, and David Dunwoody. That's Neon in the pink and lime green machine in the front. Kendall Paul second. Austin Hund 40 Racewear in third. And David Dunwoody is fourth in the number 28 Black Magic machine.
David Dunwoody he got a little bit loose coming off turn number 4. Looked to the inside of Austin Hund, but he yields behind him at the moment. He's still on the rear bumper of Austin Hund in front, but Hund seems to be the quickest driver at the moment. He's trying to get around Kendall Paul, but can't find a way to get a fender on him, and that's allowing David Dunwoody to get these runs on the front straightaway here.
It is, but if you're Dunwoody, you got to be careful. Don't burn the tires off. We've seen him do that already, has David Dunwoody, where he's run up front for the opening parts of a stage, but then he'll lose the grip and then start losing position on the racetrack. So far he's been able to hold on, but we've seen this movie before from David Dunwoody as Crash Neon continues to lead it from Kendall Paul, Austin Hund, and David Dunwoody. This is the battle for the lead, and it's probably the best one on the track. Justin Osterman has just slipped another spot to 6th. He's about to fall into the clutches of Jim Duda in 7th. Jacob Oster leads Alex Russell, Jason Brophy, Adam Blocker, and Hamilton Akabuezi in Indianapolis as they approach the quarter pole, Caleb, just to keep you informed.
Yes, it is indeed. Justin Osterman still falling through the field. Kendall, meanwhile, out at the front. Crash Neon, Kendall Paul, Austin Hunt, David Dunwoody still maintaining that same gap. Crash Neon has pulled a little bit away from Kendall, just a little bit, not too much, but Austin Hunt has David Dunwoody on his rear. David looking up the inside, going through turns 1 and 2. Does he have the momentum to try to clear him? Yes, he does. Coming off turn number 2, David Dunwoody up into 3rd.
Austin Hunt flirted with disaster coming off at turn number 2. He was, it's one of those, if he would have had another inch, he'd have been in the concrete. But Austin Hund gets away with it. David Dunwoody will go to 3rd. It is Neon, your leader, from Kendall Paul, David Dunwoody, Austin Hund, just to track the progress of Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. There he is. He's got Jason Phillips, Jim Duda right behind him. Paul Witt has kind of stabilized in the 9th spot, clear of Jeremy Dunwoody. So kind of keep that in mind too, Caleb. Paul Witt's kind of stopped the slide at 9th.
Yeah, he's kind of stabilized, as you said there, and he dropped a lot back initially on the start. He was on the outside lane, and they just kind of filed in on the inside there on that initial start. But he's kind of maintained pace with Osterman himself. So it's clearly they have the same pace as each other. Osterman having the inside looked at by Jim Duda. Duda gets a little bit loose on exit. Still got a fender. He's still alongside as they go into turn number 3. Still side by side. Osterman pinches him on the bottom. This is getting really, really dicey as they come through turns 3 and 4. Osterman able to get that position. Jim Duda slots himself back in behind Paul Witt, or not Paul Witt. That is I'm able to make out who that is right now.
It is the 48 truck
of Joseph Grayhouse.
Who is 7 laps down, but he has fallen in behind this battle. I thought for sure that Jim Duda and Justin Osterman were gonna. I thought for sure they were gonna wreck. They somehow keep it all moving in the right direction. Meanwhile, Kendall Paul has gone around Crash Neon for the lead. Austin Hund is looking at Crash Neon, and David Dunwoody has fallen back about a second from this group. So Kendall Paul the lead over Crash Neon and Austin Hund.
And you see Austin Hund, he's trying to make the outside work. He cuts it down hard on corner exit, trying to get the best. He's trying to set up the best run as possible. He looks up the inside of Crash Neon, and he's able to get that position there by getting that wide line through turn number 1, cutting it down hard in turn number 2, and able to set up the pass going into turn number 3. And now he sets his sights on Kendall Paul, and now he is on the rear bumper of his machine there. Kendall Paul, he's got lap traffic as Shane Pearson in front as well.
Well, and if you're Kendall Paul, if you're Austin Hund, what do you not want to do here? You don't want to have anything go wrong. You know, right, if you're Kendall Paul and Austin Hund, that Matt Sisler and Ryan O'Donohue have both had trouble. Your nearest pursuers in the point standings are both out of this race, and they're both not going to have very good finishes because they went out of the race rather early. So you want to keep everything, if you're those two, you just want to keep the shiny side up and the thing out of the fence at this point, because you're going to be assured of leaving here with a really good points day.
Yes, he will indeed. The only other driver inside the top 5 that is still in the race is Logan Edwards, and he is about to get lapped by these two. He's actually just right in front of them, only about 3 seconds ahead of them at the moment. Logan's still suffering from that damage on the initial restart where it collected the entire field. So Logan Edwards, while he's in that 11th place position, it's not going to be as good as what Kendall or Austin Hunt are going to get. So those two are probably going to be 1-2 in the standings after this race. If they stay in that position, Logan Edwards probably in 3rd. But Kendall Paul having a little bit of lap traffic. Austin Hunt trying to get around him. Let's see how they manage these cars out in front of him.
Yeah, let's see. That's Jeremy Dunwoody, and Jeremy drives up the track to let the leaders go, and Austin Hund darn near ran him down. Now they're going to pull onto the back of the 19 machine, or 13 machine rather. That's Andrew Gates. He'll pull out of the way. Austin Hund being hounded by Kendall Paul. Let's see what they can do as they come around. We've got 70 laps to go this time, and Caleb, we've got a special guest in the chat. You see Fish hyphen admin box down there. That's one of the great unsung men in all of sim racing. He designed the admin box. He, along with Jim Herrick, and it's fitting to mention Jim here because Jim is sponsoring that 1540 racewear machine for Austin Hund. But those are two guys that they do an awful lot for sim racing and the things that they sell, the products that they put out, but also the support that they give back to the community and to the people that race these things on a nightly basis, the broadcasters. And so thank you so much, Fish, for showing up and watching one of these races that, you'd both directly and indirectly help put on and manage. It's good to see him here enjoying the show, Caleb.
Yeah, it is indeed. Meanwhile, back on track, Logan Edwards trying to keep his lead lap. He's got a heavily damaged truck, though. And Austin Hunt looking on the inside, putting his championship rival a lap down at the moment. Kendall Paul is going to follow suit, as well as Crash Neon in a few corners' time. Logan having heavy damage from that incident earlier on and has just been able to manage. He's still in the top 10 at the moment, so that just goes to show how much attrition we've seen here today here, Murph.
It is, and for Logan, and we'll flip back to Logan Edwards real quick. The thing about Logan Edwards right here is, there's still another 10 seconds up the road to Jeremy Dunwoody, and so, if he can just keep circulating and maybe get a yellow here, he'll get the lucky dog. He'll get back on the lead lap and get a chance to get some more of that truck fixed. He's been continuously fixing it. He was on the pit lane 44 seconds that last time, and he's not too awful bad. He's about 7/10 off the pace of the leaders, as Jason Phillips has gone around David Dunwoody. So move Phillips up to 5th, David Dunwoody back to 6th. Austin Hund continues to lead it from Kendall Paul and Crash Neon, and Austin Hund has started to stretch the advantage now, Caleb. It's up to about 2/3 of a second.
Yes, it is. You're starting to see those tires fade away on Kendall Paul's machine. Austin Hund pulling away a little bit like we saw at the in stage number 1, as we keep saying. And he's got a little bit of lap traffic out in front. As Brian Sharp and Barry Seaman out in front, those guys are having a bit of a duel there at the moment. Austin Hund looks up the inside of Brian Sharp, able to get him on the entrance, and Barry Seaman just holds the wall there, lets him by though. But they're side by side coming off the corner. Barry Seaman hitting the wall. Kendall Paul taking evasive action.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does. Kendall Paul's going to go through Brian Sharp. That's another damaged truck. You look at Brian Sharp. He's trying to accumulate. Some spots here. He's down 9 laps, running in 19th, and he does a good job staying out of the way of the leaders. There aren't really any battles for position around the Speedway. Austin Hund has started to pull away from Kendall Paul, who's started to pull away from Crash Neon. David Dunwoody is losing touch with Jason Phillips. The only other cars that are really even within earshot of each other, Randy Dunlap and Shane Pearson in 11th and 12th. Randy Dunlap, though, has been blinking, so I don't want to latch onto his car because, well, we'll lose the signal, Caleb.
Yeah, having some connection issues. There are a lot of storms in the Midwest right now, so he's probably dealing with that at the moment. Not exactly sure where he's located, but there are a lot of storms going through the Midwest Great Lakes region. Do want to point out, right behind them is Mr. Excitement, Jester Osterman. He pitted about 10 laps ago. He has a fresh set of Goodyear tires on, and he is absolutely flying at the moment. And keep in mind, he's still got another set of tires over the wall if he chooses to take it. Logan Edwards also pitted. He takes another set of Goodyear tires coming out pit lane in just a moment's time. So we're starting to see the pit cycle open up. A lot of drivers start trying to make the undercut work, and we'll see Osterman had a lot of good pace on the long run on slightly more worn tires. Let's see how he does with a brand new set here.
Yeah, so Justin Osterman the last time through 23.830. He's a second a lap quicker than Austin Hund leading this race. If all things are equal, Justin Osterman should stake himself to a really big lead, and then he's gonna tell them guys to come get him. Now the thing for Osterman is he needs 2 things. The first is Justin Osterman needs this pit cycle to go all the way through. You mentioned the old narc brain Logan Edwards had come into pit. He is down and away 4 fresh tires on his i5G machine. Justin Osterman, though, he needs the cycle to go all the way through, and he needs to not abuse his tires. One of the easiest things to do, Caleb, when you're the short pitter, is to come out and just run like gangbusters, thinking that you're Superman and you can run the new right off of those things. He still needs to manage them because he's going to have to go 65 laps on those tires, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. Longer than what he's run so far. He's navigating the lap traffic now. That is the 28 on his outside of David Dunwoody. So he's lapping the lead. He's unlapping himself at the moment. He is absolutely setting the pace here. And now he puts pressure on everybody in front to try to make a pit stop as soon as possible and not lose too much time if we go green to the end here.
Yeah, we're continuing to watch Justin Osterman, 24.307 that time, so another half a second to the good for Justin Osterman as he pulls up on the back of Jason Phillips. Phillips running 5th. No contest for the new tires of Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Meanwhile, back at the front, Austin Hunn leads it, and there goes Logan Edwards. He's going to unlap himself, get one of 3 laps back, so he'll go back to 2 down here. We anticipate, Caleb, that it'll be kind of like last night, where we're going to see the pit stops come at about lap 150. You think?
Well, last night we unfortunately got that caution that brought it out right when the pit cycle was just about to open up. You're already seeing the undercuts. 150 is the mark that would put you on a bit of an overcut strategy, just a little bit, just over halfway. But we did have a bit of caution at the beginning of the stage here, so a lot of drivers are going to try to split this in the middle as much as they can to try to push it a little bit further. That way they just have a fresher set of tires if we do get a caution late in running, and they're just able to have a fresh set as late as possible.
Yeah, and you know, that's the strategy, right? Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement, decided that he was going to come out, not take tires. He was going to stop early, turn his truck into a rocket ship. Most of these guys, though, they're going to want to stop a little bit later rather than sooner. And for Austin Hunt, he's just watching to see when everybody else stops, right? He's not going to stop until somebody else does, right? Who's going to blink first? Is it going to be Kendall Paul, Crash Neon? It'd have to be somebody around Austin Hunt that comes down pit lane first, Caleb, for him to come. But we're awaiting that strategy to play out.
Yes, we are indeed. We are seeing quite a bit of drivers start to make their pit cycles here. It is lap 150. I did see David Dunley post in chat. Same Shane Pearson also posted in chat that they are pitting in this time by. So David Dunley and Shane Pearson putting a little bit of pressure on our leaders here to try to follow suit. Austin Hunn still out there. He's going to try to push us as long as possible, possibly go until the tank is empty here, Murph.
Barry Seaman too fast. Pit road. There's a penalty for him. Justin Osterman has now climbed into the 7th spot, and he should go past David Dunwoody the next time by, and that would put him into 6th. So Osterman continuing to be the rocket. We're waiting on Austin Hunt to come down to pit lane. And we're going to show that. I want to kind of show the people what it's like to get on pit road. So warn us when he comes in. Justin Osterman right to the back of Austin Hunt.
Yeah, Osterman trying to get one of those laps back, and he's able to get it going into turn number 3. So he's only 1 lap down. Austin Hunt coming down pit lane now, right on cue.
Yeah, there he goes, and that's what it looks like when you're traveling 35 miles an hour down the pit lane. I wanted to kind of show the people what it was like to see that dip down the pit lane. That's kind of unique here at Dover. Austin Hunt down the pit road, and that's going to hand the lead to this man, Crash Neon, 155 of 200 complete. Everybody else is in the danger zone, unless you're Crash Neon or Shane Fleming. If yellow comes out right now, Crash Neon is going to be a sick puppy.
Yes, he is indeed. I am taking a look at Austin Hunt, see how his comparison to Justin Osterman is. At the moment, Austin Hunt coming out pit lane, Justin Osterman crossing the start-finish line now. So, Austin Hunt, he has the fresher tires, and he is able to keep position over Justin Osterman.
Maybe here comes Justin Osterman. Now remember, Hunt's going to have 23 lap faster tires. So Osterman made up all that time. He got to 2nd, essentially, but he is at a 23 lap disadvantage on tires to Hunt, and he's on a 22 lap disadvantage on tires to this man, Kendall Paul. And so for Osterman, it now becomes, I want a caution. But I don't want a caution until this guy pits. Crash Neon is saying, yes, please, a caution would be excellent.
Yeah, he would have the tire advantage, and basically, well, he's the only car in the lead lap. He's the only car that has not pitted for a new set of Goodyear rubber. And if the caution comes out now, well, he's going to restart in first with the freshest set, and it's going to be absolutely tricky for everybody else to try to get around him. Austin Hund is the second place car. He is gaining quite a bit of time on Crash Neon. So if Crash does pit under a green flag stop, he will have the freshest tires, but he's going to lose a lot of time in this in-between section.
He will. Now, he's 1.2 seconds slower than Austin Hund. It's worth reporting Justin Osterman has already fallen to fourth. He is a half second off the pace. And so that's what that tire differential did. It got him up there. But now what Justin Osterman wants is a caution as soon as Crash Neon pits, is what Justin Osterman is thinking about. As far as the race in Indianapolis goes, Jacob Oster leads it. He is the defending champion, by the way, Caleb, of the P1 600, and we're going to have that the first Saturday in June upcoming. Jason Brophy, Adam Blocker, Alex Russell, and Hamilton Akabuezi, the top five. Your teammate Alexis Newsom is sixth. So there you go. That's the way they stand at Indianapolis at 75 of 200 in the first of two broadcast Indianapolis 500s here on P1. iRacing, of course, multi-streaming that across all of their platforms. And you'll be able to see the big show on iRacing.com tomorrow. It is the top split Indianapolis 500 at 1 Eastern.
Very curious when Crash Neon pit. He's got, just over 35 laps to go in the race. You can't make it on a fuel tank. I wouldn't imagine he's trying to make it to the end here. He has to pit soon.
Well, let's see if let's jump on board and just see if he's lifting and coasting or anything like that. We'll grab the telemetry for Crash Neon. He's not shutting the truck off, Caleb. I give him this. He's holding a really pretty wheel, if that means anything to you.
He's very, very smooth. He's not overcorrection. He's not very smooth from Crash Neon through the middle of that corner. He is trying to save these tires and push them as long as they can. Caution is out.
Caution is on the Speedway. Randy Dunlap is involved. Barry Seaman is involved. And now we've got an interesting situation about to happen. Here's Seaman, and we'll very quickly figure out what's happened to bring out the yellow light. 166 of 200 complete. Jeremy Dunwoody spins to the inside, and simultaneously, there's some action from brother David on the top with Barry Seaman. So there you go, roof cam, David Dunwoody. Seaman just came up. Dunwoody was already up there, and he can't, at this point, he can't get off of Barry Seaman. He's not doing a lot of damage to the nose of the Black Magic Studios machine, but David Dunwoody involved in the accident. Now, what does that mean? It means that you're about to see a really lonely guy coming down pit lane. Here's Crash Neon, and everybody else is going to stay out. They're going to get they'll be in front of the leader. They'll take the wave around, and they won't be able to pit under the caution. Crash Neon, he's going to come out here. He's going to get 4 fresh tires. He's going to have 9 trucks back on the lead lap with him, but they're all going to be on much older tires. They've all got 12, 13, 14 laps on their rubber. critically for Justin Osterman, even though he saved a set, Caleb, he's not going to be able to come in and get that set of tires.
No, he will not. He's going to have to wait for another caution to come out. And even then, Osterman is already on a very, very, very worn set of Goodyear rubber. So basically, if you're Osterman, you need another caution to come out immediately. And you need it. Then you could take that set of tires, and then you could be on the same pace as Crash Neon out in front. And we'll see how he's able to manage. We did see him manage very well on a worn set of tires earlier on at the beginning of this stage. But right now, he needs another caution to able to take that final set.
You know, he does. Crash Neon, of course, is going to have a huge advantage. We do see trucks filtering down the pit lane. That is, say, hey, Lewis Hayes, the 99 of Jeremy Dunwoody. He's going to stop and get some tires. Everybody else, though, you got to stay out. You want to get back on the lead lap. Do want to point out David Dunwoody elected to pit and repair his damage, so he is now 1 lap down. Paul Witt also a lap down. They're 8th and 9th. Jeremy Dunwoody leads the cars 2 laps down in 10th. Then Logan Edwards, Shane Pearson 2 laps down. Andrew Gates is 13th. Joseph Greathouse 14th. Ted Craven 15th. Michael Kirk is 16th. Brian Sharp, John Hutchins, Randy Dunlap, Barry Seaman, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes are still circulating. 21 cars on the Speedway as we get down to the final 32 laps here.
Well, we'll see a lot of cars get a wave around here, Murph. We'll see a lot of cars get a wave around, and we'll see Crash Neon pretty much set sail into the distance unless we get another caution here.
You know, I wouldn't count out Austin Hunt and Kendall Paul. Yeah, they've got 14 laps on their tires, but remember, both of those drivers are very, very good on the long runs. They had each built
back on the pace car. We're not going green this time.
Big
We're
leads.
Not going green.
Caution has been extended by a lap, and so kind of note that.
It has now been shortened by a lap.
It's been shortened by a lap. Okay.
Some wizardry is going on here, Murph.
Not wizardry. See, if you would watch The Sword and the Stone, you'd know all about wizardry there, Caleb.
I guess there, Murph. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
You should. The great thing about those old Disney animated movies like that from the 60s and 70s, they're not long. They're like an hour. Basically a regular television show. So, without commercials even. The other cool thing about those two films is they were animated at the same time and they have the same voice actors. A lot of people don't realize that. Anyway, enough about my knowledge of 1960s Disney movies. We are working the admin box caution here at Dover. In the Protect and Serve 200, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can get in on all the iRacing fun. Mike Rigney, I think you're exactly right. Crash Neon let out a massive cheer when that yellow light came on because now he's got 7 trucks to battle. He's got at minimum 14 lap fresher tires than everybody else around him. And critically for everybody else, when you take the wave round, you got to start the tail end of the longest line. So there's Crash Neon up in the lead. Kendall Paul is way back here in second.
Yeah, there's quite a bit number of lap cars at the moment that Kendall Paul and Austin Hunt are both going to have to navigate. Austin Hunt actually even further behind than Kendall is at the moment. But Pace Truck is in. Crash Neon, with a lot of lap cars around him, is going to lead this thing for the last 30 laps.
Green.
Crash Neon gets the jump. He's got David Dunwoody behind him. Dunwoody, we know, has a fast truck, but he is 1 lap down in the 8th spot. Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, with the penalty on the restart. David Dunwoody went extremely high, and he is dropping back to the field like a rock. Crash Neon has bolted away, and now we get to see Kendall Paul and, among others, carve their way through these lap cars to have any kind of a chance at Crash Neon. The caution flag would have cooled their tires. It's going to give them a little bit of temporary relief. But my goodness gracious, Caleb, they have a lot of cars to pass. We'll jump on board Kendall Paul.
Yeah, Kendall, the lap cars are not helping him at the moment. One, they're giving him dirty air out in front, and two, you still have to physically get around him to progress forward, and it's going to be a hassle to just try to even get around him in the first place. Justin Osterman, and Austin Hunt has dropped a lot here on this restart. He's back in the 7th place position, and he's got a swarm of cars around him.
Yeah, Jason Phillips trying to move the inside of Justin Osterman. No can do that time. And they've got Shane Fleming right behind them. The battle is not for the lead. It's not for second. It's for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They are all right on top of each other. Osterman will dive to the inside of the 48. That is Joseph Greathouse. Through is going to come Shane Fleming. What a move. He gets 2 for the price of 1, Caleb.
Yeah, Shane Fleming has fresher tires than Osterman. Osterman tried to make it that pass work, but just doesn't have the tires at the moment to make it stick. Now he's losing the position to Jim Duda and also to Austin Hunt. And Osterman's tires are absolutely screaming right now. And he has another set, but he needs a caution to, come out in order to put them on. But he's lost multiple positions ever on this restart here.
Yes, he has. Austin Hunt looking to the outside of Jim Duda. This is the battle for the 5th spot. Hunt going to go around the outside of Jim Duda. Now he's going to run right smack in the back of Andrew Gates. So he's going to be careful.
Oh, hard on the inside wall. Back straightaway.
That was Michael Kirk. Is he going to be able to get it to the pit lane without causing a caution? He is. And here's what's befallen Michael Kirk. And that truck already 10 laps down. Let's see what's happened to him. Joseph Greathouse just retired his machine. He gets the wiggles coming off of turn number 2 and just right smack into the inside wall. That's a hard hit for Michael Kirk, and he's going to have to bring that machine to the attention of the pit lane. Meanwhile, Austin Hunt has gotten around Jason Phillips, and he is going to begin giving chase to Shane Fleming for the final spot on the podium.
Yes, he is. I'm not exactly sure. I think Austin, I believe he was one of the last ones to pit. Am I correct in saying that, Murph?
So the tire situation is this. Crash Neon, as we're right on board with Austin Hunt. Crash Neon has 12 laps on his current set. Kendall Paul 26, Shane Fleming 24, Austin Hunt 25, Jason Phillips 27, Jim Duda 29, Justin Osterman 48. Those are your lead lap trucks on their current set of tires. Justin Osterman would love nothing more than to come get his last set. He saved them for a reason here. Caleb, he'd like to be able to use them.
Yes, he is. We're just inside 20 to go here. And ideally, this would be a perfect, if the caution does come out, this would be the perfect opportunity to take that last set of tires because, well, you have plenty of time to get to the end, but it's not too short to where, an incident can occur and, basically, like, he would have plenty of time to get back up towards the front if he loses a lot of track position.
You would, and look, for Austin Hunt, we're looking at him. He started to draw away from Jason Phillips. He's got Shane Fleming in front of him. They've got the lap car of Logan Edwards in between him, and I've got news from Indianapolis for you, Caleb. Green flag pit stops, lap 97. We'll go back to Crash Neon in the lead. Robert Malechka III spun and destroyed his car getting on the pit lane under a green flag pit stop situation right about the halfway point. So the king is out. He will not win his 94th consecutive broadcast at Indianapolis 500 tonight, Caleb.
Absolutely unfortunate from there. Anyways, back onto the action at hand. Crash Neon still leading this thing. He has a 4-second advantage over Kendall Paul. Shane Fleming.
Well, speaking of Kendall Paul, he's got problems. Shane Fleming is coming underneath him.
Yeah, Shane Fleming looking on the inside. They've both caught Kendall Paul immensely. Shane and Austin there. Shane able to get the inside run, able to clear Kendall Paul on exit. Shane slots himself up into second.
And that surprises me a lot because Kendall Paul had built a pretty large advantage over Fleming and Hund and that whole group just through traffic. He was able to get through pretty efficiently. He had a couple second advantage over those trucks, and now he's lost position to Shane Fleming, and Austin Hund is in immediate contact, and that has championship implications here. Kendall Paul is your point leader, or will be your point leader. Matt Sisler tied for the points lead. He is out of the race. Logan Edwards continues to circulate 2 laps down, although critically he is in the 9th spot. David Dunwoody, Ryan O'Donohue is out. He will finish 27th. Austin Hund, right behind Kendall Paul, stands to be the big gainer. David Dunwoody would have been, but he just got the meatball, and he's on pit lane, and I believe that he's out of tires, Caleb, and the damage has meatballed the tires. I don't know that he has any left.
We'll see what happened here, if anything. I'm trying to look back on David Dunwoody. It doesn't seem like he hit anything. It could just be a tire issue. I haven't found anything, so it could just be an incident there. We saw a car right behind our second place position. I believe that was Jim Duda. No, it wasn't. That was Barry Seaman got very loose off turn number 2, able to gather up. No harm, no foul there. But still, the battle for second place is on. Kendall Paul, Shane Fleming, and Austin Hund. Shane seemed like he has a bit of pace at the moment. Austin Hund, we've seen him on long run stints with a set of tires, what he's able to do here. And right now he's hounding the back of Kendall Paul, but Kendall getting really nice run on the front straightaway. Looks up the inside to Shane Fleming, trying to get that second place spot back.
Yes, he is. He dropped back from Shane Fleming. Might have cooled his stuff off, but big loose coming off of turn 2 for Kendall Paul, and that's opened up the door for Austin Hund. We're about to have a 3-way fight for the second spot, Caleb. This is about to get pretty good, I think, here.
Yes, it is indeed. Kendall going to the inside. Shane Fleming on the outside. Austin Hund still trying to take that apex. He's on the inside of Shane Fleming going down the backstretch, but Shane able to clear him. But Shane's still rocking that high line. That allows Austin Hund to get around him on the bottom here. He tries the old cutback, but not able to get a fender alongside going down the front stretch. Austin Hund into third and sets its sights on Kendall Paul in front.
Yes, he does. So move Austin Hund back to the podium, and critically for Hund, he's made contact with Kendall Paul, who's going to be the points leader at the end of this event. Hund wants to stay as close to Kendall Paul as he can. Crash Neon is all alone, though. Neon has built a 5-second advantage over Austin Hund. Shane Fleming and Jim Duda is sneaking into that fight as well. But here in about 2.5 minutes, Crash Neon is going to come across the line, and he will be your winner tonight at Dover, barring any sort of a catastrophe. And I need to knock on wood when I say that, because we saw that catastrophe last night, Caleb.
Yes, we did indeed. We saw a green-white checkered in the Grand National Series. and that kind of shook things up a little bit in the midfield. Didn't really change the lead at all, but it could possibly shake up how, if this caution does come out, this second place battle, Kendall Paul, Austin Hunt, Shane Fleming, and Jim Duda, who has just actually lost or he has the lap car of Randy Dunlap that's actually gotten around him and is kind of holding him up a little bit. So the battle for second place, if the caution comes out, will be completely mixed up on the restart there.
Yeah, Austin Hunt looking all over the back of Kendall Paul. He wants that second place spot. Shane Fleming has fallen about 5 car lengths behind these two. Not a factor in this fight. It's between Kendall Paul and Austin Hunt for second. Crash Neon is long gone, and if he keeps it moving in the right direction, he'll claim the win tonight here at Dover. To the inside goes Austin Hunt into turn number 3.
He looks on the inside. They have the lap car in front. Austin Hunt, he's got to run a big contact between Kendall.
No!
And they go side by side.
Big crash. Austin Hunt around. Kendall Paul around. Caution. Caution on the Speedway. And to add injury to insult, Kendall Paul is going to get a black flag for crossing into the pit lane exit. There's the contact coming off the corner. Kendall Paul can't get it gathered back in time. There's the hook. And now Austin Hunt is around, and Kendall Paul right there, he's going to get the black flag. He crossed the inside of the cone. He spins up the racetrack. But what a tough break for those two drivers. Also, what a tough break for Crash Neon, who was just about to put his name on the trophy. Austin Hunt comes down the pit lane. You've got Jacob Oster, Jason Brophy, and Adam Blocker swapping the lead at Indianapolis, and they're about 5 seconds ahead of Hamilton Akabuezi and Alex Russell in the top 5. Kyle Clinworth is 10 seconds off the battle, or is 10 seconds off of Russell and 15 seconds off the lead. He's working with Alexis Newsom at the moment. They're 6th and 7th. So, as a reminder, everybody who is here will transfer over to the P1 2026 Indy Open Top Split Time Slot number 1 broadcast. We're going to finish the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series from Dover. I do want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings. They're a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years. They have epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail, flooring, or concrete repair at home, you found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. And you know who just sat up and took notice of that accident, Caleb? Ryan O'Donohue and Matt Sisler. It's not going to hurt them. David Dunwoody has now been disqualified because he's out of tires, and he can't fix the car, so he has been ejected from the session. Austin Hunt and Kendall Paul are not going to have massively awful finishes, but they're not going to run on the podium either. Crash Neon, Shane Fleming, Jim Duda, Jason Phillips, and Justin Osterman are going to do battle for the win here. Kendall Paul is still out there. They have given him a clearance on the black flag. He did not intentionally cross into pit lane, so in the AMA they'll do that. And Paul Witt back on the lead lap. There's only 7 trucks on the lead lap here. Austin Hunt has fallen out of the top 10. Well, he's 10th now, but he's going to fall out of the top 10. He's still on the pit lane 2 minutes, Caleb. And we're going to get a green-white checker here at Dover.
Crash Neon leads him, and he's got the freshest tires. Shane Fleming, Jim Duda, Jason Phillips, all right behind him. And what's important is that Justin Osterman chose to stay out there on this restart here. And honestly, 2 laps is not enough time to take that set of tires to make it to the end here and try to get a lot of track position here. So Justin Osterman choosing to stay inside the top 5. Let's see how he's able to hold on here.
We are about to find out. Crash Neon still with the freshest tires. Paul Witt did
Green
come to
flag,
pit
green
lane,
flag.
as did Kendall Paul. Green flag is out. Big wreck in the back.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Barry Seaman has gone around at the initial start, also involved the 39 of Shane Pearson. I think I saw Michael Kirk involved in that melee. Caution out one more time, and it's going to be Barry Seaman from the middle of the field. He's just going to spin the tires up, turns right in front of John Hutchins, and from there, Caleb, unfortunately it's on. Kendall Paul will avoid the accident, critically for him. And unfortunately, Shane Pearson cannot avoid Michael Kirk right in front of him. And so we will get... Are we going to get another attempt at a green-white checker?
Yes, we will, Murph.
So what's the limit here tonight, Caleb?
I'm not exactly sure.
If you go to the info tab, and I can't do it, but if you go to the info tab in the UI, you should be able to see number of green-white checker attempts.
Basically unlimited, Murph. It is 15.
It is 15 attempts at a green-white checker. So we will eventually end this race and get you all to Indianapolis. We just don't know when. Crash Neon still has the lead. Shane Fleming second. Jim Duda has gone to third. Osterman fourth. Jason Phillips fifth. Kendall Paul sixth. Paul Witt seventh. The old Narc brain should be getting the lucky dog here. So there's Logan. He's going to go back to one lap down. It's not going to gain him any positions, but if there's another one of those, Logan Edwards would be back on the lead lap.
Yes, he would indeed.
Chip in a chair, right, Caleb? Chip in a chair.
We'll go with that there, Murph. Logan he's still got that damage truck. You could see that left front fender is just completely missing out of the F-150 he's got. But he's still running in the 8th place position. And we talked at the beginning, this race was going to be high attrition. And, well, that's what we're seeing. Logan Edwards, he was involved in that massive pileup on the restart in the middle of stage number 2. And he's just been, the entire race, been dealing with a battle-scarred truck, we'll say. And it's just been very unfortunate for him. He's going to come down pit lane, actually, and try to get some of that damage repaired even more.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's been fixing it all night. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is going to get one of his 19 laps back around the pace truck, and we'll get an attempt at a green-white checker. Now, if you're Logan Edwards, come in. Get as much damage fixed as you can. It's probably not going to be much, 15, 20 seconds maybe. Get back out on the speedway, and then stay away from everybody, right? You're pretty much guaranteed an 8th place finish here no matter what happens, but stay away from everybody else, because if there's a caution and you get any sort of contact, you don't get the lucky dog.
yeah, that's absolutely crucial. And he is the only car one lap down at the moment. Shane Pearson is 2, so he would benefit from a lucky dog position if we somehow get another green-white checkered. Not impossible, but
I've got good news. He's got a left front fender as he pulls off a pit lane. Crash Neon is coming through turns 3 and 4. Edwards is going to have to hustle. He is off a pit lane now, and he's going to need to get that truck to the floorboards. Green flag is about ready to fly. Crash Neon back to it. We are underway one more time. Fleming spun the tires. He's got Osterman right behind him. Now Osterman going to duck to the inside, Caleb.
Yeah, Osterman had a really good restart there. Ducks to the inside, Shane Fleming, but Shane has the outside line. Tags the wall a little bit. They're still side-by-side going down the backstretch. A little bit of contact as they go into turn number 3. Shane riding the wall there, trying to get as much momentum as he can on Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement. He now looks up the inside. Osterman throws the block going into 1.
Big block. Shane Fleming into the back of Justin Osterman. Osterman goes up the hill. Jim Duda's going to go through. So to Paul Witt. Witt is up to fourth, and Witt's got fresh tires on. Here comes Paul Witt to the outside of Jim Duda. He'll go for third in the admin box truck. He's going to go around the outside of Fleming. Can Paul Witt grab second? He can. Wow.
Briefly, we do have to say Crash Neon did, in fact, win the race, though. But what a pass around the outside for Paul Witt. What a move there.
Whew. We're gonna do the Rogue Energy winning moment here for Crash Neon here at Dover. That's if you go to rogueenergy.com, use promo code AMA24, you get 10% off your order, and then we're gonna go back and watch that last couple of laps. For Paul Witt, because that was wild. If the race had been one more lap, Paul Witt would have won. There's Crash Neon with his Rogue Energy winning moment, and Paul Witt drove the wheels off of that truck in these final couple of laps. Here we go, and let's watch this from the blimp. Keep your eye on that 29 truck. He is 7th on the restart, last car on the lead lap, under Kendall Paul through turn 1, and it's on from here. Those new tires, just brilliant. For Paul Witt.
Well, it is the Indy 500 weekend, and to quote a famous phrase from the mid 2000s, just like Scheckter.
That was wild. Watch this deal. So Osterman, you can see the Osterman Fleming situationship in front. We're going to talk to Sean Fleming about that. That kind of gives Paul Witt free reign under Osterman. Jim Duda understands the situation and gets out of the way. And watch this run. Look how much faster he is through turns 3 and 4 on the high side. Rides the rim and brings it home in second. My goodness gracious. With the win, it's going to be Crash Neon. Second, Paul Witt. Shane Fleming comes home third, and it's always good to see different people on the podium. You're definitely going to get to ask somebody about chicken wings tonight, Caleb. Jim Duda comes home fourth. Jason Phillips is fifth. Justin Osterman sixth. Kendall Paul seventh. Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, he perseveres into eighth, so he's going to get paid some decent points at least. Shane Pearson ninth, and Jeremy Dunwoody is 10th. And 11th, it's Andrew Gates, Austin Hunn, Ted Craven, Brian Sharp, and John Hutchins through 15th, and then Barry Seaman, Say Lewis Hayes, David Dunwoody, Randy Dunlap, and Michael Kirk through 20th. 21st, Joseph Greathouse, Raymond White 22nd, Donald Green 23rd, then Jared Duda, Mike Rigney, Sam Crow, Ryan O'Donohue, Matt Sizzler, James Hodgson, and Alan Steigerwalt will come home 30th. 31st, Chuck Sweeting, Matt Wagner 32nd, Sean Roberts. Shotgun on the field in 33rd tonight here at Dover. Let's see if we can't find Sean Fleming here.
He is in the waiting room.
There's Sean Fleming. Sean, you've got Murph. You've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yep, but it's Shane, not Sean.
Shane. I've been calling you the wrong name all night.
Well, hell, I've been called that all my life anyway. It don't matter.
You know, it's kind of the old twist on they wrote a bad article about you in the paper, and you say, well, did they at least spell my name right? In your case, they didn't even do that. But thank you so much for joining in. that was a wild ride. You found yourself getting through the big wreck pretty much unscathed. Whatever damage you got fixed, and then from there you were up front. Um, Obviously, with Crash having the freshest tires, there wasn't an opportunity to challenge for the win. But what was it like racing with Kendall Paul and some of the guys up at the front that you're normally not around as much?
Well, I mean, this is my first race with the league tonight, so I'm not around any of these guys that much. Austin Hunt, he's the one that got me in the race, and so he's really the only one I know in the league. But I mean, it was a fun night.
Yeah, it was. So talk about it. How'd you get through that big wreck?
I just closed my eyes, and pointed it straight. I don't know. It was a little luck, he was behind me. Austin was behind me. He said that's kind of like a Days of Thunder moment. But yeah, and got the damage fixed and had a pretty strong truck.
Indeed. Caleb Brashear, what do you have for Shane Fleming this evening?
Well, we did talk. You did bring it up briefly that this is your series debut and a very strong result coming forward. It was it was a bit of a chaotic race, a bit of attrition. I guess how do you manage when you have these races like this where it's very high attrition and able to get a good result like this?
Well, I didn't know the banner rule, so I got sent to the end of the line there at the beginning of the race. So right there, it just kind of went to the mindset of just taking my time and just kind of going through there real easy and trying to stay away from all the wrecks. And yeah, that worked out. And then once I got up there, I just kind of tried to be smooth. After that last pit stop, all the didn't have any more tires, so just kind of went kind of strong, and it worked out. And I believe his name's Crash. He stayed out, had everybody a lap down, and then he had fresher tires. So I kind of figured that was probably his race to win after that.
Indeed, it was, but you still managed to bring it home on the podium on debut, Shane, and congratulations on that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at P1, if you get on the podium, you get the microphone. Friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to say hi to, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'd like to appreciate. I just want to say thank you to Austin for giving me the invite to come to the league. Good, fun race. I love racing the trucks, so I feel like pretty good at it. I always have family watching. They're texting me right now. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm sure they're saying, good job on this debut. So it's always good to have family and friends that get to watch, and they watch every time I race. So that's awesome. And yeah, that's about all I have, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for stopping in, Shane. Thank you. Congratulations on your third place. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's Shane Fleming. He comes home third tonight. For second place, we're going to bring in what I would assume would be a very happy Paul Witt. Paul, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcast booth. You've got Fish watching. You've got Fish watching in the chat. So your sponsors here. Talk to us about your wild night, my man.
Dude, it was just unbelievable. What at the start of the race there, I had 3 minutes worth of damage that I sat there and got fixed. Got all of it fixed, and was just riding around. I saved a set of tires, and I was hoping I was going to get past Crash before that caution came out, so I could start on the lead lap. But I took the lucky dog, came in. I had a set of fresh tires sitting in there because I saved a set. And I think if I would have had one more caution at that end there, he would have been toast.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. We saw your move around the outside, coming to get the checkered flag. I think you made up 5 spots in 2 miles. So heck of a run with that. Caleb, what do you have for Mr. Paul Witt this evening?
Well, I did just want to ask, like, just that final lap, because it wasn't a very straightforward. There was a bit of a what we'll say argy bargy in turn one. You navigate that pretty well, and then you probably one of the best moves I've ever seen here at Dover. Round the outside of two cars, all Schechter style. Just talk to me that final lap, just able to gain that many positions in just a mile length.
Well, I was either going to wreck the truck or get up there because that's all I had. I mean, I had the freshest tires, on everybody on the lead lap because I just put that my last set on under the caution there when I got the lucky dog. So I had the freshest tires, so I knew I could get it to stick, but I just didn't have enough time to get up there to get crashed. I wish I would have.
We wish you would have too. It would have been a fun battle to see for sure. Congratulations on the second place run, Paul. As always, it's been a while since you've been up here, but you're a veteran of the booth all the same. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank AMA, everybody that comes in here and contributes in here. Especially Fish sponsoring me. I love getting these paint schemes and getting them into victory lane. So I'm hoping I can get a few in victory lane before this season ends. Maybe this is a good sign. Got to wish a buddy of mine a happy birthday to Rick Collins. He today was his birthday, and I told him if I was getting a podium, I was going to give him a shout out and thank my wife for letting me come down here and race and have a good time while she's up there sleeping.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, Paul. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
You are more than welcome. That's Paul Witt. He is going to be second today, and for the man of the hour, Crash Neon Crash, you made the call to stay out as long as possible, and lucky for you, the yellow came, my man.
Yeah, honestly, that luck or that yellow was a saving grace. Honestly, I was gonna run it long. That thing was out of gas, and that's always my strategy is to run long, no matter the track. So we lucked out with that caution. Everybody was a lap down, and we came down for 4 fresh tires, and then ultimately we got that win.
Yes, you did. Caleb, you've got the hard-hitting questions for Crash Neon this evening. Go ahead.
All right. We only ask the most important question to our race winner here, especially if it's a first-time winner here in the AMA. Crash, what's your favorite chicken wing flavor?
To be honest, I don't think I can single out one. I'm a chicken wing man. I'll eat anything with chicken on it. So instead I'll give you my top 3 flavors.
Okay.
But
okay. Let's see it.
Number 3 we have buffalo. Number 2 we have lemon pepper wet, and number 1 we have this Asian buffalo, or excuse me, barbecue style Japanese fusion. That again, I love my chicken wings. I'll eat anything with chicken on it.
Well, there you go. I'm a little bit more peculiar in my chicken wing flavor taste, but that's all right. I do have to ask. We've seen you run the open wheel cars a lot on the channel. Did you have occasion to take a shot at the 500, and where'd you wind up if you did?
I always run the fix, and I don't even know like where we were on the standings. Last time I checked, it was like 450 or something like that. Not sure what split we ended up in. We were running top 5, top 10 all race, and then ultimately we got a speeding penalty coming to pit road, and we were trapped a lap down all race due to green flag racing. So, that Indy 500 curse still sticks with me from last year. I got stuck in bottom split last year, if anybody wondering. So, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. Indianapolis is a fun track, and of course, I do love the Indy cars as well. So, hopefully, we'll figure it out. Maybe get like a top 10, maybe top 5 next year. Who knows?
Who knows, right? I think Caleb and I are going to go off. We're going to be relegated to the second split tomorrow. I think I wound up 40th on the speed chart, and Caleb was like 50 something, I think. So we did not make the show, but we're gonna give it a rip all the same. Crash, thank you so much for stopping in and stopping by. You know the drill by now. Friends, family, sponsor, shout outs. I find it fun. You do race the open wheel stuff a lot on the channel. but I don't think we've ever had you in the booth for anything but a stock car. So.
Who knows? Maybe that day's coming where we'll get an interview in the IndyCar Oval Series fix. Who knows? But give out my shout outs. Ghost Energy, they were on board our Chevy Silverado. Check out their newest flavor, strawberry watermelon, in your local stores, wherever Ghost Energy is sold. And my mind just shut off for the night. I'm sorry. All glory to God as well. He gave us a fast truck tonight, and Christ is King.
Thank you so much, Crash, and thank you so much for stopping in and stopping by. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's Crash Neon. He's going to come home the winner tonight. And Caleb, we saw the attrition. We saw the attrition. We saw the accidents. But we also saw something that we didn't see last night, and we saw something that you usually only see at Talladega. We had a big one, and we had some long green flag runs here too.
Yeah, we did indeed, and we kind of expected, the attrition to come in, and just with the nature of how Dover is in general. But we had some good racing there. We had a long green flag run initially, and then a little bit of chaos in the middle, and then we had a very long one at the end there. And it was very interesting to see how that strategy worked out. And it worked out in Crash's favor, where he stayed out. Caution came out while he was a lap ahead of everybody else, and just played perfectly into his hand. But still a very high attrition race, a very chaotic race as we get here with Dover. And I think the best thing is just to look forward to the next race, which is one of my favorite mile and a halves, which is Charlotte.
It most certainly is. We've got a bunch of really good racing coming up here on P1. As a reminder, those of you still with us will go on to the Indy 500 time slot number 1 top split in just a few moments. Tomorrow, it's the Vote of Indy Oval Series Round 8 Auto Club Speedway, 8 o'clock. Caleb and I will both be in that race. Monday night, it's the IndyCar Monday Night Top Split from Adelaide. That's at 8. Followed by the Indy Next Road Series Monday Night Top Split at Montreal at 10. Tuesday night, we've got a triple header. It's the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split from Kansas. That'll go off at 8:15. And then at 9:30, the Indy Next Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They're going to recreate the Freedom 100, one of the best races you'll ever see. The nightcap, it's Area 51 After Dark. They will be here at Dover, 9:30 as well. Wednesday, it's the Horizon IndyCar Series Round 12 from Indianapolis for the Taupe Soaps 250. Next Thursday, the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series, 8:20 p.m. pre-race, 8:30 start. Friday, Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series from Charlotte, same time. Both of those right here on P1. The Bash Brothers will be back. And then we're all going to get in our cars and go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Do have a special announcement for everybody in the iRacing community. The P1 600 is back, Caleb. June 13th, 2 o'clock, 600 kilometers at Michigan. Who gets to win my money, Caleb? You can enter that race?
I don't know for sure. I have to see what my schedule is like.
Who are you kidding? You'll be in there. Thank you so much to the drivers for showing us their talents tonight. Thank you also to the fans in the stands, but we really got to thank the people that really make it possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs, driving the ambulance, and Caleb, the nurses that unload you when you get there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. Enjoy the last 55 laps from Indianapolis, everybody.